Hello, everyone. It is a great night for CSA. We got ourselves a lovely matchup in Premier, joined alongside myself. Hello, I'm Zoms, and I have Raptor here with me. We got some fantastic games to go over tonight, and there's nothing but, we're slammed with Rocket League for tonight, and to start things off, we got San Diego Sea Lions and the Atlanta Aces. This is going to be a fantastic matchup up here in Premier. Raptor, what opinions about this matchup, as we get closer and closer?
Yeah, so going into it, for those of you that are following along, we did have the major last week. So both of these teams got knocked out in the very first round. So major not really a factor in their season standings. Both of them did walk away with 0 points towards their season standings. Going into the season standings, Atlanta is sitting 7th and San Diego is sitting 8th. So they're right on top of each other. And, to be honest with you, both of them posting a pretty good win ratio. So this is a toss-up. It really could go either way. But I do want to point out that Kage he is all over the leaderboards. I was looking at his stats and stuff. He's number 2 in his division for his soccer rating. Like, he's 88.2. So I'm really looking to see Kage really stand out tonight as we get into it. So, if we're talking about who I think is going to take it, I really think Atlanta has probably the best shot of both of these teams tonight.
Yeah, although I think I want to kind of agree with you, but it's really tough to say. Both these teams, although, like you said before, 7 and 8, they're right next to each other. Both these teams are 1 point away from each other, but they are in very, very different positions when we actually look at this season as a whole, because we have divisions, and Atlanta are actually last in their division despite being 7, and San Diego underneath them are first in their division. What that means, if you are first in your division by the time playoffs come around, you get in a top 4 seed. So although San Diego, I think they're honestly going to be desperately holding onto that top seed, while Atlanta, they're trying to claw up, which is really weird to say as Atlanta are actually higher up. But yeah, going into this match, I really do think this is a 50-50 matchup. I will say San Diego, they are 3-1 in the past week. Actually, I think both these teams are. No, and actually Atlanta Aces are 2-2 in the last week. So looking at recency and maybe seeing that San Diego has had a slightly upward trend as of late, I am going to go with San Diego. I do think this is a coin flip matchup, though.
Absolutely. I like to your point, the Sea Lions have not really slowed down their momentum. Yeah, they had a little bit of a hiccup. They were the number 1 seed going into the major, and they did get upset very early. However, I don't know if we actually got to see the real San Diego team show up. I mean, like you said, they're number 1 in their division. They're looking really good as a whole. It's just going to come down to how their play style is versus Atlanta. Are they going to come out aggressive? Are they going to play that control that you so desperately need? It's really just going to come down to, and I hate to say this, but it's literally going to be every 50-50 is going to be that chance that you're going to walk away with the win here.
Yeah, I'm going to be excited as we get closer and closer to this start time. And yeah, I think this matchup, we've said it over and over again, it's going to be very close. We can actually look at the rosters. We got Gavalanche, Gray, and Chowder representing San Diego Sea Lions. And on Atlanta Aces, Mogi, Cage Danner, and Kylie, I mean, both these squads super stacked. I believe Mogi is a recent pickup, as I think he was in free agency not too long ago. So new addition to that roster for Atlanta Aces, and I'm going to be interested to see if that shakes up things for that roster. I don't know if they played the major with this exact roster. They didn't do, like you said before, neither of these teams did exactly fantastic in the major, but we've got a lot of Rocket League for tonight. So, as we wait for these players to join up on the lobby, I mean, these two teams are going to be titans. I would love to see if Mogi did play in that major. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure this is the San Diego squad that got drafted. So seeing that they haven't made any changes, they're not I mean, you can't be mad at being the 7 seed even after kind of bombing out in the major. I mean, once again, your division is unbelievably stacked. So working your way through the east side of that bracket was way more difficult, as I believe 6 of the 8 teams in the east are in the top 8 technically. So um, maybe despite them having a lacking major performance, they're still confident they can go on and push through. So maybe that is another reason why San Diego should be the favorites here, but I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, and to your point, Toronto walked away with the 25 points. All the teams that are in the top of the division didn't walk away with any points out of the major. So really, it was a moot point. The major really didn't do anything for either one of these teams to put them any different than what they were to begin with. So, going to the final weeks of the season, this is definitely coming down to, like I said, it's every 50-50 is now going to be important.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a matchup either of these two teams can really afford to lose. As one of them is desperately trying to catch up to the pack, and the other one is desperately trying to stay ahead. So 2 very different situations. Going to be interested to see if, when we get into this thing. I think we're still waiting on the lobby to form up. But I guess we could talk about the matches that we have later in the day as well, despite them being a little bit further out. But yeah, we can go over our schedule, I suppose. Raptor. We got Baltimore Boxers and the Akron Kings playing in professional after this series. And then beyond that, we got a novice matchup, Rochester Renegades and the Toronto Six. That's going to be one you can't miss. And then all the way later in the night, World Class, the Showdown, New York Vanguard going up against the St. Louis Archers. Going to be a good one. Can't miss any of them.
Yeah, I watched I think we broadcasted the grand finals for San Antonio, and they came out and just absolutely and talking about the world class section, they did amazing. I was really, really impressed in how they came out and they showed up. At the very most important part. I mean, obviously the grand final is not the time to shut down. And I don't think they did that. So yeah, world class is looking, and really, I don't think you're gonna miss, or I don't think you're gonna find a bad game in tonight's selection. I think that each one of these matches is gonna be a shootout. I don't see any reason why we're not gonna see extremely awesome Rocket League being played tonight.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff to be proven here. A lot of teams have been changed since Major 1. A lot of teams that now have come out on top or done well in Major. This Major 1 that we just went through was upset central. It was ridiculous. We saw so many lower seeds making deep runs. We saw a lot of top teams crumbling early on. I unfortunately was one of those teams, but it's going to be interesting as we see as things progress and as teams grow and adapt, and see how much these standings matter, because there's going to be a lot of teams that are low down in standings making full roster changes. People are going to underestimate them because let's say they're the 14th seed, 15th, 16th seed. You never know, and then they just draft the most insane team ever. I mean, look at San Antonio Stallions in World Class. They weren't doing horrible, but they picked basically a full new squad, went on to go win World Class. And I'm just saying, this can happen any given week with any given roster. It is crazy. The talent pool in this league is unbelievable. So I would be interested to see, if we get some more of that roster mania. I'm sure there will be by the time Major 2 runs around, but this is the period of time between now and Major 2, which you need to solidify a roster for the rest of the season. You don't got much more time, so hopefully we're going to be seeing the building blocks of most of these teams finally being, assembled and coming together. And we don't got much more time. We don't got to wait too much longer, especially for tonight's matchup. We got one of the teams in the lobby still waiting on one team. I believe we're a little bit early. We're trying to kick things off a little early so we can be ahead. But believe the other team is just maybe finishing up their last match or maybe trying to hurry on. But we can just keep stalling. We can just keep talking. We're just hanging out here, aren't we, tonight?
Yeah. I'm having a great time. This is really awesome. I'm very passionate about doing this broadcasting. It's something, I'm getting older in my years. I'm actually 40, getting to the point where I'm able to start talking about retirement from my normal career. So, this is something that I've been interested in picking up. I'm looking to, if I have time to kind of make a name drop here, I'm looking to try to start, a veterans broadcasting group where, we take on veterans that are maybe going through some issues in their lives and trying to get them on the right track. I'm one of those cases, right? I started broadcasting in the Bring Your Own Team leagues and started really having a passion for it. And, now I'm broadcasting for CSA, which has been absolutely just an amazing experience. So, Zoms, Nuki in the background, I really appreciate you guys letting me come on and run this with you guys.
W shout out, appreciate that. That made me feel nice and warm inside, and W everyone for showing out as well. Appreciate everyone in CSA for giving us this fantastic opportunity, and we just get to play some Rocket League and have some good fun while doing it. I believe we have one more player. Is the whole team there? No, we have bits and pieces of each team's here now. We are just about ready. So sorry, we're trying our best to stall out here. We're at least we're decent at yapping, but we are closing in on kickoff here. I guess we can solidify our predictions here. I believe we both said opposite teams, but do you want to run me back who you're predicting here? We can
so
count too.
With the way Mogi, coming onto the new roster, Kage, the way that he has been on top of the leaderboards in most of the stats. Haven't really seen anything out of Kylie. Not really familiar with them. But I gotta give it to Atlanta.
Yeah, and I honestly almost convinced myself earlier that I think they probably would be the favorites because they, despite them both having really similar points, one was in a bracket of death and it was just really hard to make it their way through. But I think San Diego desperately want to hold on to that one seed of their, or not that one seed, but their one seed in their division. And I think they're going to be doing their best as they can to hold on to it for tonight. Despite me honestly predicting against them previously, man, it's really tough here. But I do kind of want to split the desk, even though I'm really torn here. So I will go San Diego to curate a little bit of controversy here, but I do think this is just about 50-50. I think both these teams are unbelievably capable. They're literally 1 point apart from each other. Let's see how it turns out in the match, in the game. Of course, they're coming, guys. Trust. We're just waiting on 2 players. We have cams for tonight. Any premier cams? I've honestly doubt it. And I was really ecstatic to see how many cameras we had in the major. Really people showing out. No cameras tonight, which it's all right. It happens. But next week we'll get right back on track with some cameras. So look forward to that. Believe we're trying out a new system, so we're getting that in the works. So just bear with us temporarily. And just still waiting on 2 players as we slowly inch our way towards this match. And yeah, we went over a prediction, but we didn't say how many games. I am going the distance. I'm going to 5. I don't know what you think of this matchup, but I will predict in 5. So.
Ooh, in 5. Ooh. That's crazy. 5. So,
Yes.
I don't know. I think we're gonna see some overtimes. I really think we're gonna see some overtimes. But I think Atlanta's gonna 4-0 them.
Wow.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
It's best of fives for these regular seasons. I know we just got off the major where we're used to best of 7s, but it is best of 5. So I think it's going to the distance, but it's only best of 5, and I think it's going towards San Diego here. So it should be a fantastic match. That's what I think. I think it's a coin flip match, overtime, game 5. So has that changed your prediction at all?
Not really. I really think Atlanta's going to come out swinging for the fences. They, they got knocked out early, but so did San Diego. So, I mean, I really think, just from what I'm seeing, I really think that Atlanta is hungrier, and I think that they're going to want to come out swinging for the fences. I think it's going to be a 3-0, but it's going to be a 3-0 in overtime. I'm predicting one overtime.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Why are people talking to me in game chat? They just hate me for some reason. What is going on? I just look over. What?
Zom's getting the special treatment over here in the chat, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
know a lot of these people. This is a really fun matchup for me, close to home. I know a lot of these people from just other leagues. I met a lot of these people in real life, so it's good. It's going to be good to see them get out here. All of these players are unbelievably capable, super cracked players. And one thing to note is Cajinator, world-class champion from last season. Alongside last season it was Bryant and Nate. But now he's trying to get it done in Premier, which honestly I think he's got himself a pretty good squad. So we all set, I think, as I believe all the players are. No, they're not here. Yeah, let's start 2v3. Okay. What is Mogi talking about?
Yeah, it's a line for the series for the season, but you know what? 2-3, screw it, we got this.
Listen. They're confident in the 2v3, I suppose. I don't even think you can do that in. I think you can do that in majors, but I don't think you can do that in regular season. There we go. I think their last player just rounded out that final roster. Let's get into things. Let's send them off into this match, and let's see if they can perform to the level that we are expecting them to. One of us predicting a game 5, one of us predicting a sweep. Let's see how this shakes out. Let's get into this.
All right, kickoff starting off really early. Mogi looking for the backboard touch. He gets it, and it's shot early, 5 seconds into the match. And already, like I said, Atlanta coming out swinging for the fences on a beautiful double tap off the backboard. Courtesy of Atlanta, they go up early, very early, but we do still have a lot of Rocket League left to play. In fact, they're going to take this up the wall. Falls off Mogi. Probably a good idea. Double commits are not exactly your best friends here. Mogi trying to get the double touch off the sidewall. Couldn't quite get it. And we are staying locked in as Kage gets the shot, but it's blocked out by Gray. Gray's going to take this down the field. Kage on his heels trying to force a play here. Kage going to get the reset down to his teammate. He gets missed off the team pass. Avalanche is going to be there. Gray going to try and slow the play down to get his team fired up. And oh my gosh, Zombs, we are seeing just the fireworks early.
Yeah, already going back and forth, and this is nothing but what we were expecting it to be. Very intense and close. Rocket League looking for the sidewall. Fantastic pass, but cut out. Cage is being shut down early, and this ball is running towards this orange corner. It's very dangerous here, trying to get the outplay, but it finds its way back center. Mogi chasing after, but Gav already has a shot towards the top right corner. Cage has it to the corner back in safety, and it's already going back and forth. Big double comes through, and that ball's launched right towards the blue net. Able to clear that one out temporarily. Two-factor looking for the sidewall. Can't find the touch, but finds the pass. Shouter gets up early to get the save, and man, nothing but back and forth. Rocket League, another shot comes through, but backboard. It seems San Diego are holding on by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, San Diego's really trying to get the defensive side of the field locked down so they can focus on the offensive. But I tell you what, Atlanta is not giving them any breathing room. You know, game 1, 3 minutes and 25 seconds, and it already feels like we've played 5 minutes of Rocket League just by how fast this game has gone by. But San Diego really needed to get something going. Gav does get the bump. Chowder's going to slow this play down, looking to take it off the wall, looking for center for Gray. Gray is not going to get there. Mogi's going to have it. Gav's going to have to be back, and he is successful at playing back here. Chowder getting the 1v1, got the 50-50. Nobody but blue players on the other side, and it is all but a guarantee there, as nobody from the Atlanta side was anywhere near close to the net to get that save.
Yeah, really awkward double commit on offense right there, leaving Two-Factor in a very dangerous position. He tries challenging early, which I think is the correct play, but that 50-50 does not go the correct way, and it's going to be a free net. And a pre-jump goes south. That's Gray looking for the top right corner. He finds it. Perfect precision on that shot. And my goodness, I mean, there's a lot of distance here, and just one nice touch finds that shot to the top right corner, and San Diego's got themselves their first lead of this series, and it took not long to swing that pendulum from one side to the other, and it might be 2 now. Oh my, I mean, that's 3 straight goals in 10 seconds, it feels like? I mean, not quite, but it was immediately.
And Atlanta just has no answer for any of it. They got scored on the kickoff. They got scored off of a 50. These guys, San Diego is absolutely swinging for the fences right now, playing very aggressive. Bumps and you know, I haven't seen any demos, but the bumps coming in, the passing plays are just spot on. Both of these teams really showing a reset coming in from Mogi. Mogi tried to get it cleared. Kage's going to try and get it, but Galva's going to beat it. And then Factor's got to rush back to try to get back. He does get back, gets the touch, going to bang this back, looking to get his team settled in on the offensive play here. Kage going to try to get this off the back wall, but Chowder is there. And we're going to slow this play down, trying to get San Diego to regroup here. But Mogi not trying to let it happen. Chowder, and it's just a back and forth. It's both teams vying for position here. And one slip up, 150 gone wrong is going to be the difference here. The 2 minutes coming to the clock is 3-1 right now. San Diego does have it. This may end up being the bad side of my prediction.
And once again, Two-Factor left in a really tough spot. He does well, but that save goes off the corner. Still a tough position. Oh my goodness, Chowder has the dunk. Despite having an excellent first save for Two-Factors. In fact, that save just bounces up perfectly for Chowder. He gets the first shot back on, but the dunk is there. Cage couldn't get it either, and the top right corner is found yet again. That's the same spot that they've been absolutely assaulting over and over again. And San Diego find themselves up 3 now.
You know, and Atlanta's really been trying to get something going. They started off strong. They got that first early goal, but they have yet to find any type of response to 3 unanswered goals. Atlanta need to do something to pick up the pace here to try to get back to that shot that they had. Mogi's going to take the shot here. It looked like Chowder tried to jump up to block it, couldn't quite get the touch, and that's going to force left-hand corner goal, and that's going to give Atlanta 1 back. They only need 2 more to tie it up, 3 to win. But as I'm looking at it, it's a little bit of an uphill climb going in for Atlanta. San Diego is absolutely playing just amazing right now.
Yeah, Atlanta is definitely a hyper offensive squad. They all want to, spam mechs and do what they can to get massive outplays on the opposition, but with them all having a very similar, play style and drive, they end up getting caught with each other, so they got to figure things out pretty quickly here, or else their net might just end up open. Cage is going to have a tough block here. Chowder, his shot's a little bit lacking. Cage is able to get that stop. Mogi trying to chain together some resets to find another offensive attack, but now the entirety of the Aces plan just has to, reset. They have to find another way back. Another couple resets, but just really held back onto their half, and now more defense is commencing and more stacked. I mean, all 3 players of the Aces are on top of each other right now.
Yeah, and and that brings up a good point. I've been watching the cams, and I'm seeing that for some reason Atlanta just gets held back in their half. They can't really get anything, and they're forced back usually with only 1 person left to beat. So they really lose out on their defense, and that really makes their offense struggle because they're so focused on trying to return to that defense to try to get that diving save that they really lost all the momentum that they had. And we're going to see San Diego put it down on the ground. That's going to blow my prediction out of the water as San Diego coming out ultimately the victor off of what seemed like a very quick start for the Atlanta side, but San Diego's taking it.
Yeah, although Atlanta Aces are down, they are by no means out. They still have lots of time to, kick back and start rolling back into this match, and just got to figure things out one step at a time. And Mogi had some very good goals this game. Started off very hot and then had a nice little corner read, but it's going to take more than 2 unbelievable plays, because despite you getting those 2 fantastic opportunities, it took 4 really overcommitted in plays to really get going. But I will say, this Aces team, once they get cooking, once they get hot, they might never cool down. So I think this needs to, this pace for San Diego needs to continue. They need to keep cooking. They need to, they can't let off the gas one bit, because once this Atlanta Aces team starts, rolling, there might be no stopping them. So you got to keep piling on the pressure. And I got kicked out of the lobby here. I'm going to be trying my best to join back as soon as I can. Oh, my servers might have went offline. I'm sorry. Joining back.
That's all right. I got it. Well, so going to your point, you know, Atlanta did start off strong, but they ended up ultimately losing that first game. So maybe some adjustments going to be made here. Maybe some more aggression coming out of Atlanta in this second game. They need to get this back if they're going to tie it back up into the series. Mogi going to try to get a defense touch here, but Factor being back, last back again, and he's been able to hold on barely, but a squeezed in shot by Gavalanche. Atlanta just cannot get any defense to hold as Gavalanche gets a great second touch off the backboard. It's in a slow roll in, and that's going to put San Diego on top very early. Now, Atlanta did start off early in the last game and ended up losing. So, you know, as long as San Diego could stay with the game plan that so far has been working, they may look to extinguish. But Mogi getting a nice touch and off of an unfortunate own goal. I hate to call it that because, you know, Mogi already basically had the shot. Gal tried to get the shot blocked away. All three defenders in San Diego were there. Unfortunately, Mogi just had the bullying capacity, and he's going to bully that one all the way into the net. Mogi starting off the next kickoff really, really strong here. Factor takes a shot. Unfortunately, not going to find the net. As we see Kage trying to block it out, and Chowder gets the touch. Gets the second touch by Greg. Greg's going to try and force it. Gav gets it kind of 50 out the net. Not going to work out for him yet. But San Diego is sniffing on the heels of Atlanta, and they are feeling blood in the water right now, looking for that next goal. It almost got delivered there by Chowder, Galv with the touch to the corner. Gonna try and play this out, trying to get something back. Chowder got lost on it. I don't know if he was called off by a teammate or what, but he turned. Not really sure what happened there, John.
Well, you're talking about own goals the last time. Well, this one certainly counts as one. Graves just finds the bottom right corner perfectly, and Chowder can't get back home. And, yeah, slight miscommunication right there, I believe. You know, Gray was trying to back pass, but Chowder trying to aggress the play quickly so it doesn't turn anything. And unfortunately, kick off Mogi ankle breaker. Oh, no, you know, starts the highlight reel, and this is exactly what I was fearing for the San Diego Sea Lions, is now the aces are flying high. They are striking, and another, I mean, it doesn't matter how you score. That is just a brutal one to be on the receiving end of.
Yeah, and, you know, Chowder was like, hey, I'll send you a postcard when I get to where I landed, because good Lord, he almost landed on the other side of the field. A shot coming in, Mogi tried to get the touch, but it's going to be blocked away. And oh my Lord, Factor's got the wrong touch there. I'm not sure what happened, but it's going to actually work out. Is this going to float back towards the center? Not quite. Kage looking to keep the pressure on. He's going to do that as so far. Factor and Mogi both have boosts, so they can keep the pressure here. Factor just floating it, trying to get to Mogi. Mogi with the pinch off Factor, trying to get the touch down center. Kage just barely misses it. Factor gonna pop this up, looking for an aerial coming from Mogi. Mogi normally being pretty powerful on those aerials, not gonna get the touch here. And it's looking like San Diego's gonna be on the counter attack.
Big miss right there, and that might have been San Diego's chance to start a counter attack, but just a big miss from Gav right there, and the entire house comes crumbling down, almost like it's made of cards, and now you gotta reset your entirety of your offense with defense, and when you're just pushed against this wall and playing defense over and over and over again, eventually the offense will find its way through. Cannonball straight down the middle, and Chowder can't keep that one out, and it's got to just feel really painful right now for San Diego, being pushed into this wall over and over again. You got to find a way out, because here's another chance for aces. They do get shut out at the door, but it's just piling on over and over again. So much pressure. They're unrelentless.
And keep in mind the last, and I hate to call this stat out, I really, really do, so don't hate me, San Diego. I'm probably going to be on your naughty list for quite a while as a broadcaster, but the three of the last goals have come courtesy of an own goal from San Diego.
Yeah,
so
that is a brutal stat to see out there.
maybe you should start aiming at your own at the orange goal instead of the blue goal. But San Diego can turn this around. They do have 2 minutes. They do have plenty of time, and their game plan coming into this to this game particularly has kind of fallen apart. But if they just go back to what they were doing in the first game, I think they're going to be fine. But oh my God, Mogi is just coming out. And at the very beginning of the game, I thought it was going to be Kage that was going to be the MVP, but Mogi is absolutely showing up right now.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful backboard down shot, and just completely, there's no saving that whatsoever. So,
I mean, it doesn't even make sense for Mogi to be on that backboard, but he's just hanging out there with maybe 10, 20 boost, and it just works out. He's got the shot. The pass was fantastic as well, and somehow finding the back of the net yet again. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Mogi showing off his mechanics all the time in this matchup, and it's really proving him well. Gav trying to one-up him from the corner. Can't quite do it this time. Nope. Mogi chasing after yet again. Looking to maybe get a pass down off the ceiling. Nope. Looking for the pop reset. Gets one. Looking for the second. He's going to end up finding his way mid for Cage, but Two Factors also there looking for the backboard, and the mechs are just constantly being spammed. It's so hard for San Diego to break out. It's so suffocating. Another flip reset comes through, but nothing found. But the boost totals for San Diego are running low. Gray using all the boost on their team basically, and eventually the net just ends up being completely open, and the goals are just piling on. Mogi 4 for 4 right now, and no, I'm not talking about Wendy's. This is unbelievable. Just ridiculous. And right now, I want to quickly brief this because it's happening. I mean, Mogi right now has 6 goals in the series already. That's unbelievable. The striking from him has been immaculate, and I don't know how they're going to cool him down. I don't know how they're going to stop him.
Well, I mean, and to your point, Mogi right now is literally shooting 4 for 4. He is 100% on his shots, and he's going to add to it. Oh my God, perfect striking from Mogi. This man is on a mission to get his team past San Diego, and I don't think there's really any answer that San Diego has that is going to stop this man from making his dreams come true.
Yeah, somehow in there he did get scammed out of a shot, so he is 5 for 6 now, which, that's not that bad. I guess you can have one chip on your shoulder, but looking to make it one more. Doesn't steal that goal this time. Two Factors find to the back of the net, and this is becoming one of the most one-sided games CSA has ever seen. How is this even possible? This is a team that just lost, but this is exactly what I was talking about in between games 1 and 2, is once this Aces team gets hot, how do you cool them off? They are burning like lava at this point, and it does not seem like they're cooling down anytime soon. Looking to pile on even more goals, even more pressure. The San Diego they need to breathe, and that's another chance right there. Cage completely missed out on that ball, and Gav might have had a completely open net, but he's just not expecting a miss from a player of this caliber, especially when you're losing by 7. And I mean, that could be the turn of momentum. You never know, but it's not going to be found this game. You're going to have to, really pick yourself up in the next game, as this game was a complete wow for the Aces.
Yeah, Factor there trying to channel his inner Mogi and trying to get a goal of his own. Unfortunately, not going to work out, but it is ultimately going to work out for Atlanta, as they are able to tie this back up in the series in really statement fashion. I mean, yeah, you talked about he's only got 5 goals and 6 shots, but let's be honest with you, that stat is kind of padded a little bit because sometimes Rocket League just doesn't give you the stats that you're looking for. But I personally think Mogi was 100% on that. He just was showing so much creativity that San Diego really just had no way of knowing what was coming next from this Atlanta team. And that is exactly what Atlanta needed to have to kind of get that momentum back. And I just watched the replay of Mogi faking out the Chowder one more time, and oh my God, Mogi was just on it. And when you have a team, not even just Mogi, Kage and Factor, I mean, they were instrumental with that. Kage was 6 assists. I mean, when you have a team that's firing on all cylinders like that, San Diego just has no way of countering it. Yeah,
and it is going to be interesting to see if San Diego can bounce back from this. it's a new game at the very least, and you get to start fresh here, but it's really, really, really... I'd be surprised if that match does not boil over into Game 3 here, and if we continue on here, Chowder is going to get the first play here, and honestly, it's going to feel good to finally get on the offensive half here, and he's going to get cut down early, but Gav has another chance to go high, looking to maybe find himself to the backboard, but all three players putting a hand up here, maybe putting the Aces into an awkward position. Mogi is already flying up the field looking for a pass, and that is one thing this team really does well. They just want to get the play moving immediately. Aces are so aggressive. Gray just trying to find some open space over here over to Chowder, but he's actually going to leave it for Gav. Sidewall, gets past one, fakes another, looking for the floor double, has it, but Factor all over it.
Yeah, there was a great attempt there. Gray trying to make another attempt. They just can't quite get that ball out of the corner. Mogi going to take this down the field. Two Factor on the left side, looking for something to happen, but he doesn't have any boost, so he does going to have to back off a little bit. Waiting for Kage to get the touch. He does get the touch. Chowder's all by himself, but he's able to bait it off the wall, but that's actually a really good pass coming from... Oh, my Lord. Chowder had to slow the play down. His teammates weren't back in position yet, but unfortunately, you know, both of us are Rocket League players. Bouncing it off that side wall is always a recipe for disaster if you're not ready for it. And just proving right there how dangerous it can be is that's almost a perfect pass. Mogi getting the touch again, and Mogi is right back into form. The few seconds that we had in between games not factoring into this at all, as Mogi is right back to it. And San Diego is got to be scratching their heads. What on earth can we do to not only defend this, but have an opportunity for a scoring possession of our own?
Yeah, look at him finally get some offense here, going up the sidewall, trying to pass one down. Chowder holding this ball at bay, maybe getting up to it for one more. Factor ripping this one out. Looking for the backboard. Mogi's already there waiting. Preserving the boost really well. Just keep the ball close. Now Cage can take this one low. Nice 50-50 now looking for the sidewall or the backboard read. Does get cut out by Gav. Trying to start some sort of counterattack. Massive flick comes through, and Two Factor able to authenticate that this time, but still needing to press forward. And man, now Gray is pushed back into the sidewall yet again. There's so many offensive chances for this Aces squad, getting shut down yet again, and a slight miscommunication and a misplay as that ball gets chipped into Factor and it fires all the way back into their half. But I think the more important part is the fact they still just have complete control of this ball, and it hardly ever loses, you know, control. It hardly ever gets away from one of these Aces players, and when it does, it seems short-lived. But finally, despite that ball being between multiple Aces players, Gray slices right down the middle and finds the back of the net.
And I was just going to say, you know, I was agreeing with your point that nothing the Aces do seem to be a miscalculation. They have been so precise with their touches. They've been so controlling. They've had really great ball control until that point. But I think that maybe just be a one-off thing. We got a demo coming in. Factor going to pop this over to Kage. Kage's going to get the good 50 here. He does have enough to get it passed down, but Mogi's just going to get blocked away. Factor going to try and get a flick here up to Mogi. Mogi still, for some reason, on the offensive side. He didn't rotate, but that has worked out for him in the past. And it doesn't seem like that San Diego has any type of recourse for Mogi. Can basically just go around the field, do whatever he wants. He's just been that player in this series that he just commands every part of the field. And he's been doing so well in trying to keep his team on the offensive side. And you know, when you're San Diego, you try to develop offensive plays, but they're so few and far between right now that you got to take advantage of every one that you get. And with that one that we just saw earlier, and Mogi gonna get knocked off his teammate, adding yet another insult to injury, and Sea Lions are looking in very, very bad trouble right now.
Yeah, and it's yet again another outplay, and that was just a 3 versus 1. Everyone trying to pile on, get that last touch for the goal, but it is just really tough for San Diego. But this might be a good chance. In fact, it just will bounce its way into the back of the net. No additional touch needed here. Two Factor goes flying by, and it was just one chip, and that is it. That is the entire shot and goal right there. Not common that you're going to see something that might be the easiest goal that we see all tonight for, at least in Premier. But Gray will be licking his lips, happy getting another goal on the board, keeping this game within one, despite it really not feeling that close. But now off the backboard, trying to put this one down on the offensive pressure for San Diego, and it is just so difficult to continue on. Gray getting one more chance, pops it high, looking for a 50-50. No, two players in fact getting involved, but that's how desperate they're getting. They're setting the house, and oh, what a pass out mid, but two factors all over it, ready to shut that play down.
Yeah, and Gav tried his best to try to make something happen on that. Just like like we talked about, they just are not getting the opportunity, or they're not getting the transitions when it's there, and that is unfortunately costing them the game right now. We do still have just under a minute left to play, so San Diego can reel this back. They have had looks, and we see one coming in now as Gavalanche is going to get his first of the game off of a beat play. Now gets this almost like a Zen touch off of it, going to put it directly on target, and unfortunately Atlanta just got caught off their back foot. Didn't really have any chance to get back to it. Almost a kickoff goal here, but Mogi's going to be there for the touch. Gavalanche's going to pop this back up, but Mogi is going to be there in the center looking for the clear, looking for a second touch. Doesn't get it. A factor is there for it, and it's going to stay on the San Diego side. And one thing I've noticed is Gav has tried that pop dribble twice now, and both times he's sailed the net looking for a backdrop. Kage getting the goal here, but I really feel that there would be more scoring opportunities if the Gavalanche would just, instead of going for that backboard pass, maybe just trying to air dribble it down into the net. But we're not going to be able to. Hopefully, he'll get a couple more opportunities. But like we talked about, opportunities coming few and far between for San Diego right now. But we do get a runaway here, as Gray is going to get a great touch, and that's going to leave the back defense for Atlanta wide open. And a great play there by Gray.
It's really strange, Raptor. Yeah, it really seems like this game is being completely dictated by the Aces, but they're so, they really just want to go and attack and attack and attack and attack. Defense is not for them, and it leaves their backline open so many times. Finally, a shot warded away, but it's still a really dangerous position in front of the net. Can someone put it home? They will in 1 second. I was just talking about how it really doesn't feel like they created their own chances. It's really just been an overcommit, and then they just push off that overcommit. But finally, creating a chance for themselves on the most important time, basically 1 second left. That's all the Aces have to try to push this game into overtime. They will get the ball up in the air. All three players in the middle. Mogi looking for the sidewall, gets the touch. Gray in the corner, keeping this ball close. Two factor, trying to stay all over. It's still up, still alive. That'll do it. And one miss comes through, and that ball finds its way into the ground. And we are going somehow, some way. San Diego have the lead in this series. It does not feel that way at all. And Raptor, this series is mind-boggling. It doesn't feel real.
Yeah, I mean, Mogi, being the playmaker that he's been, kind of didn't show up that game. Not sure what happened. He did back out here, maybe looking for a car change. Going into this last match, maybe looking to change up the strategy just a tiny little bit. But yeah, San Diego did a great job there, and Gray really shone through. He definitely deserved the MVP off of that game. 5 shots and 3 goals. He basically led the charge there. But yeah, San Diego, I hate to say that they got that lucky last second goal. But in this rank, you don't get luck, you make your own luck. And San Diego, finally getting the chance, once they get that possession, they finally have been finding the key to getting that goal. And I really think it comes from what you were talking about, how Atlanta has constantly been forcing attacks. They're really focusing more on the attacks and not really focusing on the defense, as we do have a play stoppage here. It looks like we're having trouble with some of the team players connecting. But back to your point, Atlanta feeds off the aggression. They play very fast. They play very precise. But they have been showing that their back defense is somewhat lacking in exchange for that aggressiveness, and it has bit them in the butt a few times to where San Diego is now going to be in the lead, but a demo came in and Mogi, I don't know what happened. Maybe he, canceled out, went and got a drink of water and came back, but he is right back on the attack. Let's see if that aggression can hold in, or if San Diego can stop that aggression and outplay them.
Yeah, no games being played here at the beginning of game 4, and this is do or die now for the Aces. They got to stay locked in, or else they will, having a short exit here in this Week 5 matchup. And this is not a game you want to lose, but that is an immediate response to the San Diego Sea Lions. And one thing that I am looking forward to see is if the Aces can hold on to their vice grip that they had all of game 2. And honestly, it felt like for the majority, the difference between for game 2 and game 3, other than the results being different and there being far less goals, was I think that at the crucial parts of their offense, they got too aggressive yet again. Like the aggression got stepped up a little bit too much. They overcommit, and then it's just like in the first game where they just left one man back or sometimes no men back, and it's just an open net the other way, and it's going to be a completely free chance. And that's a fantastic outplay in the midfield from Ogi. Tupac is going to be the one slamming home, and getting themselves a lead right back. And these two teams have no interest in stopping the motion of this game, which seems to be high octane offense and just constant speed.
Yeah, and not only the speed, but the precision shooting. And right now we're seeing the shootout that is game 4. Both teams firing shot after shot after shot, keeping the pressure when they do get into the third of the opposite team. Getting those shots, but not really connecting. And I think the one team that makes the misstep, right? As I say that, Mogi gets a great touch off of what looked to be a little bit of a misstep by Chowder there. And he just got bullied off of that ball. The broad shoulders of Mogi really making it difficult for the defense of San Diego. And I tell you what, man, Zons, this is a shootout to the end. Make no mistake about this. San Diego, they're down 2 goals right now, but this back and forth that has been this series, you cannot, as a San Diego team, you have the ability to reel this back.
Oh my goodness, we saved. And I think a big difference that you said it was a shootout, but the difference is I think San Diego have a 6-iron, and I believe the Atlanta Aces have a freaking machine gun. I mean, like a whole Gatling gun. They are shot after shot after shot after shot. They're getting so many more of those precision or precise chances that it really does come down to a battle of who can just hold their breath the longest. I mean, who can hold on, who can take that most precise shot, who can either one hold on to defense or keep that offense rolling, because it seems like the second San Diego tried taking a breath, they get scored on. In fact, this is another chance. Gagenator goes high, but if the opportunity's still there, Mogi's diving in, and if that gets saved out, it's just an open net the other way. But Mogi, full of confidence in his ability, will get there and find the back of the net yet again, making this now a 3-goal game. And it just seems it's the same story, Raptor. We're watching the same game again. It's just constant pressure, and that's another chance. And Gray is going to be taking possession of the ball, going high, and 50 just going down. But it really does just seem this entire game is dictated by the Aces, and Chowder can't turn on that one and find the back of the net, and despite it being open, that's going to be a brutal chance maybe gone by the wayside that they're going to be missing.
And I'm really starting to get the vibes of the second game here, where Aces came out swinging and they find themselves greatly in the lead. That game 2, like I said, very reminiscent. But Gray gets a great touch there. Factor had to force it out. Kage gonna try and get this back to his teammates. Mogi beats one player, the only player left back. And this is gonna be a quick shot, but oh man, the defense of San Diego holding on And you said holding your breath. That had to be one of those hold your breath moments. As Atlanta has been so good at the goal line, at the net, of just trickling that ball in and just absolutely beating your boost tables to death, where you run out of boost so quick when you're trying to defend against these high flying, aerial plays. San Diego desperately just running off pennies to try to just get anything blocked away. And it really just seems like Atlanta has better boost control than San Diego right now. And I really think that may be a little bit of a factor coming into what almost could have been a doozy, not going to find its way home. But San Diego have got to make something happen right now, as they are coming down to 1 minute left in this game. They really need to make something happen if they want to, advance. They are still in the lead in the series, but Atlanta trying to seal the deal, trying to get this tied back up, and maybe, like you said in your prediction, game number 5, we have seen overtime, so your prediction is looking pretty solid right now.
Yeah, looking to press forward and continue on to that pace, but it is looking very difficult for San Diego to break out of this half. It is just completely controlled by the Aces. It might just be a go next situation, but with 40 seconds left on the clock, there's no point to stop fighting now. Gray trying to mount the comeback, going low, but Factor just playing the ball, immediately diving and stealing even more of that just precious boost. It is holy water for San Diego at this point, and Mogi taking even more time air dribbling up. Chowder is instant challenge, but now gets faked out going low. A shot comes through, saved away, and Cajun are trying to turn on a dime here. Does get past, but Gav actually does really well to put a hand up. Factor back this time, able to save this one out to the corner, wasting out the last few seconds here. Banks it past one, and it has to basically be a pitch straight to goal right now. It won't be, and the last few seconds will be drained, and the ball will find its way to the ground. We are going straight into just a ridiculous game 5, but it really does not seem like we should be here, if I'm honest. It seems like the Aces have been overwhelmingly the better team, but the San Diego Sea Lions have been holding on again and again and again. Can they just struggle their way to a finish? We have to find out, and luckily we don't have much. We don't gotta wait for very long.
Yeah, and statistically, I talked about how this game felt so reminiscent of game number 2, but keep in mind, game number 3, San Diego came back and kind of answered back in the very next game. So, will history repeat itself? Will we see the repeat of that game number 3, where San Diego put it together for one game? Which was the game that put them ahead in the series. Will we see that repeat yet again?
Only time will tell, Raptor. Only time will tell. And as we get closer and closer to this last kickoff that we will have in this series, we are, players lined up. We only got about 5 more minutes till we see the result of what this absolutely ridiculous series, this homunculi series, and Mogi's going to be starting us off with a play to take this one towards the ceiling, but does get challenged very early. Cajun are looking to start off hot, and this Aces team has had a goal within the first 10 seconds within half these games, so just holding them out for these first 10 seconds is already maybe a new PB, so maybe looking to continue on. Gav gets past one, the last man back, that bounce not doing him any favors. In fact, 2Factor able to run right back and able to get that save and trying to bounce back now. Gav rips one towards the sidewall. Who's going to beat? It's going to be Cage. Now looking for even one more touch. Reset. Looking for the backboard yet again. What a crazy sequence, but not enough to find a goal. Now Chowder getting a chance the other way. Big quick reset towards the top bins. Mogi keeps it out, and maybe some more chances coming through. Gray just keeping it active in this corner, but it's not going to be enough to keep this Aces team stuck in defense for very long.
Yeah, and Mogi gets the pop here, looking to air dribble it, gets it past Chowder. Gray is there for it. Kage getting touch off the corner, looking for a pass center, but it just barely misses the barely hits the left post, just barely missing the net. And that could have been a great play there. Unfortunately for Atlanta, this gameplay is going to continue. Both teams sitting at goose eggs right now, but like you said in the past, personal best coming through, maybe San Diego, and we talked about it in between the matches. Is this going to be reminiscent of what we saw between game number 2 and game number 3? Right now, it's kind of looking like a whole different version as San Diego has been able to hold off Atlanta in a much better fashion than they have in the past games. A shot in hand, Avalanche and Gray both on a collaborative save there. Unfortunately, Mogi going to try and work his magic, and it gets blocked out by Chowder off of a touch from who's that, Kaganator. Kaganator going to get the touch here, looking for a backboard touch. It gets pushed off high, but it gets redirected by Factor. And Factor hasn't really been a huge factor in most of the games, but he has shown up in this game, and he is going to get his first of the game. Not sure what the stats are on his previous goals, but so far, Atlanta being able to hold on and have that little bit of an edge, trying to keep field possession on the blue side. Mogi going to try and pop this up. He's going to dribble it. He's just going to hold on to it, gets a reset, gets a musty flick, and it's going to find its way to the back of the net. Great mechanical play there by Mogi. Gets it up, pops it, resets it, flicks it, musties, knocks it right down, gets one little bounce. Couldn't have asked for a better placement there, as he did have a defender to beat. But he ends up.
Offense it's just so relentless, Raptor. I mean, 8 shots to 1. It doesn't seem like San Diego get the chance to play the game. I mean, they're trying their best to break out, and maybe another chance here, but it just is so short-lived. Gav trying to do his best to get a little bit of a basketball dribble, but it just seems like the Aces still have so much boost. Their reserves are much more, and immediately they find their way out. They just get the ball close to them over and over and over again, and it feels like they have an extra man on the field running around picking up all the boost to give it to them. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's so rough for them, and this is going to be another play where they just abuse their boost, and they just use so much of it to outplay everyone yet again. Turning on a dime, going to the ceiling, outplays Chowder, and then that top right corner is completely empty. I mean, what are the San Diego Sea Lions supposed to do? Down 3, only 2 minutes left. It's now or never for them. They need to go full attack now.
Yeah, Boost DLC downloaded for the Aces. They seem to have a 300-gallon tank in their cars. Not really sure how they're able to manage keeping as much boost as they do. They were struggling early on in the series to maintain boost, but they have found the rhythm. Mogi yet again get a second reset over Chowder, looking to clear out some defenders. Unfortunately, they're going to have to slow the play down because they just ran out of manpower. But again, you know, we're looking at it, and it just seems like, yeah, we're seeing blue players touch the ball, but I only ever see any, or like if I see a blue player, I'm instantly seeing an orange player right there on top of them, and San Diego has no room to breathe, and when they do find a way to breathe, it's so short-lived that it almost takes the wind out of your sails. You know, as a player, you know, you're struggling to already kind of analyze the field, everything like that, but to also have in the back of your mind that, God, I never seem to be able to find boost. What is going on here? And oh my God, Mogi is just going insane right now. Age getting the great touch, setting it up for him. Mogi just floats there, fakes the initial touch, goes down below both of the defenders, and finds that bottom right corner. And Mogi just absolutely putting on a mechanical clinic in this match, and really, honestly, has just been putting on a clinic throughout the entire series.
Yeah, it has just been a pressure difference. It has just been such a difference in shots and in just keeping possession of the ball. I would love to see how one-sided the possession was this series, because it has been just. I feel like San Diego are in high demand of the ball. Like they would pay double for what it's normally worth, and it is just brutal. They hardly get possession. In fact, it's in front of their net yet again. Oh my goodness, an excellent save, but it just does not matter. Last 30 seconds here for San Diego to figure something out. This will be an insane comeback if they manage to get rolling, but Chowder literally on 0 boost, can't even break out now. 3 jumping players looking for the pinch into the corner. 2 Factor looking for the lead, actually leaves it. Gav is trying his best to break his way out, but it is just a futile attempt. The last few seconds will tick down, and this series is as good as over.
And you know, just the relentlessness of just, there's always an ace player somewhere in the play, and it always seems to be like they just crowd the net to where San Diego just could not even get their cars out of the way to go get boost and come back into the play. Once they're out of the play, it's just there's no way to get back in, and that has really been the deciding factor in the Atlanta win here. They really showed a lot more mechanical precision. Their passing plays were perfect. Not necessarily saying that there weren't some missteps along the way, because obviously, San Diego forced them to Game 5.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Atlanta showing that higher strength in boost management, ball possession. I mean, just all the checks in the boxes that you want as a team. They were able to check all those boxes. And oh, by the way, Mogi was just basically unstoppable.
Yeah, Mogi just kind of played his own game, and that is the version of Rocket League I see him play in every stage. No matter where he's at, no matter what team he's on, he's always just the mechanical menace that we all have grown to love and watch him play. And it doesn't matter how good his opponents are, he always finds a way to play his version of Rocket League. So seeing him bounce into this style was just a fantastic showing for him, and we're going to get the opportunity to see lots more of him later down the road. So looking to see as their team hopefully climbs up in the standings, as they have a lot of work to do to catch up to those teams above them, trying to climb out, as they are currently the last seed in their division. But like we said before, they're going to be trying their best to forge their way out. But like we said before, we got lots more games. Coming up next, we got Baltimore Boxers and the Akron Kings. Don't go very far, because we're coming right back to you.
That shit on the headlight. that shit on the headline.
Alrighty, everybody, and we're back with some more CSA content. We got some more Rocket League coming straight your way, and now we're going down a little bit into the professional tier. This is where things are going to get a little bit spicy, and we got ourselves a pretty fun matchup here. We got the Akron Kings going up against the Baltimore Boxers. Akron Kings, which consists of Jacek, Eli, and Parker, while the Baltimore Boxers consist of Aqua 3, Fluke, and Bladot. Yeah, this is going to be a really strong matchup. In fact, two players on both those sides have been teammates before, so now I've seen them get against each other, and they're going to have a fantastic match here, hopefully, and it's going to be interesting to see how those two teams clash. We'll slowly wind into this matchup, and we are a little bit behind schedule, so we're trying to run and get into this one quickly, but Raptor, do we want to do a quick prediction for here?
Yeah, so Akron, came in, they're sitting 6th right now, and Baltimore Boxers sitting 12. I tell you what, in the major, Baltimore got knocked out at the very beginning of the major. However, Akron did make it all the way to the semifinals. So look for Akron to come out, possibly statistically anyway, come out to be in favor of winning the series. But I have a sneaking suspicion that rivalries tend to shake the stats up quite a bit. Zoms, you want to throw in your prediction here?
I have to go with the Akron Kings here. I am gonna say it's going to 5 because this Baltimore Boxers team, they always go the distance. They genuinely, every time they lose, although they are the 12th seed, they went to 5 4 times out of their at least 5 or out of their 5 losses on record, I believe. So 4 of those being game 5s really could have gone either way. Some of them against, just last week they went to 5 against the 1 seed. I say last week, but it was really week 4, which was the 2 weeks before the major. So it's been a while now, but I think this will be closer than we could ever possibly believe. But now we're getting into this game. In fact, Baltimore Boxers already getting us a statement goal. Aqua 3, who we got to see a little bit playing up in the finals last week. He did unfortunately end up going a little bit short, but listen, I think Aqua 3 played up fantastically. Now getting to see him play down in his regular tier is the bread and butter with his squad here. I'm going to be interested to see how these two teams, match up against each other.
Yeah, I'm kind of been watching, seeing what's developing early, and right now the storyline being that Baltimore is going to come out swinging first. If you guys were watching the last cast, we had the we had the other team. Oh, and a shot! Almost back net, but that's going to be okay because Parker's going to clean it up. And what a play already. Elite getting the great redirect. Aqua just had to die for it, but Parker was ready for it. Read it, knew that Blah was going to be there, but not in time. So he just slotted to the left, and that's going to be the tie-up very early on in this match. With 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to play, it is already high flying, high shooting, and as you said, you know, the rivalry coming out. I still believe that I think Akron can pull it off. I have a lot of buddies that are from Ohio, and you know I've never really been an Ohio fan. I'm a Florida Gators fan, so there's always been a little bit of hatred towards Ohio to begin with. But in this scenario, I really think Ohio's going to take it, and I think we're going to see another Game 5 as Fluke gets the score here. Aqua dribbling it, gets a failed reset. However, it did work out. Fluke is going to get this down low. Basic just could not get to it, and we are sitting 2-0 in favor of Baltimore at 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
Fairly even pressure so far as we find our way deeper into this game, and you know, we've only had about 90 seconds of gameplay, but it seems like much more as the pressure has been non-stop for both ends here. Looking to find a mid-pass. Oh my goodness, just off the post. Now looking to control the other way. Aqua looking to delay flick. Actually turns it into a wave dash, and I feel like if he just rips that thing, it might have a fantastic chance of going to the back of the net here, but already impressive control being displayed here. Outplays one. Fluke showing it. It's no mistake that he's trying to get a pass, but actually stopped at the door once again. Aqua trying to fly up here. Gets the reset, but not much else. Midfield pass comes through, and Fluke is in a really horrific spot here, able to actually just let the ball get ripped out to his backboard, and really doesn't have to do much else other than weather out the storm. Now ripping over to the sidewall, looking to make a play, but Blada shuts it down early. In fact, he finds himself in an open net, and will go up 2 now in this series.
I think it's a good reading off the wall. Just kind of throws his car at it, and it's just going to be enough. I'm not sure what happened to the Akron defense. I think they were caught mid-rotation off that at that wall shot, and unfortunately, that's going to be enough to give Baltimore that lead early on in the series. This is game number 1, but a lot of Rocket League already been played, but a lot of Rocket League left to play. So both teams still have a definitive shot here. Eli looking to try to get something off Fluke. Fluke's going to take this to the midfield, looking to go a little bit further. Elects to pass it down to his teammate. Going to get blocked out by Jasek here. A redirect by Parker. We saw the redirect earlier. Is it going to work out? No, Fluke gets the touch. And Aqua is going to continue this run. But we have 2 orange players on the blue side. This could spell disaster, but the defense of Baltimore holding strong, coming at just at 2 minutes left in our game.
Hey, another good pass comes through, but no one's going to be there to capitalize on it. It's an awkward play yet again, but the Boxers are just taking hit after hit. They're able to hold on again and again. That's going to be a missed touch right there, and Parker's going to have to take control. It's unfortunately a heavy touch, and their third burn does get demoed. Can someone put it home? Aqua rips a shot. In fact, it's too much of a little bit too top bins, and it's going to find its way out. Jasek looking to take control here, looking for the dunk. That one goes wayside. Eli trying to find the backboard. Can't find it this time. Parker flying up, looking for a controlled touch, and Fluke just gets the outplay. Jasek has a little bit of time here, looking to take control, but it's awkward. Multiple players in the box are trying to charge in on his location now, but it's just a loose ball, and no real impact plays have been found here, and the Akron Kings are still looking for scraps.
Yeah, but those scraps so far have led to 1 goal. They do find themselves down 2, but a shot coming in, but beautifully blocked out by Fluke. But it's still going to be dangerous here. Fluke does manage to get around both of his teammates to get that ball finally out of the side. But Jasek going to try and take the shot here, looking in the corner. Playhook gets beat off the corner. Parker going to try and stall the play here to try to get his teammates up in position. Jasek is going to be on the ball here, but so is Bleha, and Bleha gets it knocked down to the field, looking for a redirect off of Aqua off the sidewall. But 2 defenders coming from Akron right now, trying to utilize the same space here. The double commit is going to work out in their favor. Jasek tried to get the reset, couldn't quite get it, but again, off the top crossbar. and Akron give them a little too much spice for these shots as of yet, but I know that they are going to hopefully try to find that dialed-in shot timing, and they will be dangerous if they can get that those shots to start falling.
Back to the net here. It's a fantastic save out. Another dunk comes through, and oh my goodness, it's just so dangerous. Looking to put that one home, but oh my goodness, it goes flying out, and Eli looking for what maybe a last-ditch redirect, but it's just a little bit too late. The last few seconds are drawn out, and this first game will go to the Baltimore Boxers. Akron Kings have a lot of cleaning up to do if they want to bounce back into this series, and you know, every single game. I mean, you can't count on any individual game, but look how much defense actually comes through here. Akron Kings will piling on the pressure this game, but I mean, Boxers just taking hit after hit. They do not care. They're brushing it off. They are surviving. They're holding on for dear life, and then transitioning into perfect offense and really making the most of each of their chances.
Yeah, and the 50s were spot on by Baltimore. They just were able to play just better 50s, you know, reminiscent of a couple of saves that we saw by Fluke. You know, a lot of the plays really resulted from 50s, and the 3 goals that they scored were off of 50s that went the way of Baltimore, and then that redirect that was so dangerous in that first game. Maybe looking to see a little bit more of that, as that really was effective against Akron. But Akron, if they can clean up the shooting precision, they had multiple shots that just bounced off the backboard, just a little bit too much for where they were at in the positioning. If they can tighten that up, I think Akron will have a legitimate shot here to tie this back up and maybe even look to push ahead. As we see Jason gets the touch, tries to beat 2 defenders, but Fluke is just not going to allow that to happen right now. Looking for, I think Fluke a little bit overcommitted there. He does finally rotate back, getting back into position. You know, that's a dangerous position to be in. If you're, you know, if you get the touch, but then, you know that your teammates are far in the back. Aqua getting the touch here. Blayhud trying to clean it up. Can't quite get it cleaned up. Parker going to try to send this outfield, and it's a bad dash, but Aqua's there for it, keeping this on the Akron side. For how long, though? As we see Blayhud trying to get the touch here. Aqua back up in the air, but he's going to run out of boots. Can't quite get back to it off of what could have been a good double tap. Not going to find its way home. And we are fighting tooth and nail for this first goal of our second game.
I mean, it has been, although only 2 shots showing on the scoreboard, it has felt like 30. Look at the continue to pile on the pressure, and wow, they're already going back onto this offensive end. It's going to be dangerous off the backboard. It's the shot come through. It's too high. Oh my goodness, back out into this corner. Eli trying to get the outplay, but the dunk comes through. Now a slight double commit. Parker touches one out to the left side corner here. Jasek awkward. Luke trying to get a wave dash. Gets past one. Looking to take a 50-50. Jasek so composed right there. Looking to get past, but Blada instant challenge. Gonna do him well. Aqua 3, fantastic read on Eli, previous teammate, and now it's slowly moseying towards that Boxer's net, but able to clear this one out temporarily. And now even more pressure is being stacked on as we find our way back and forth. In fact, Eli actually might get a decent chance here off the corner, trying to pass this one mid, but Luke staying composed, able to keep this ball close. And I mean, although chances are at least finally starting to show up for the Akron Kings, nothing threatening.
No, and to be honest with you, you know, it feels like the game is progressing so quickly, but I'm not seeing that aggressiveness that we saw in the last series from either of the teams in the last series. You know, you could definitely tell that there was a difference between the aggression levels and stuff. I feel like this is going to be a shootout of the more conservative teams. I'm really seeing that they're really being a little bit more conservative with their plays. They're not really overcommitting like we saw in the last game. So, you know, much different pace of play, a much different game style here for both these teams versus our last series. But I do think that we do need to start seeing a little bit more aggressive from either side. And I think the team that can get a little bit more aggressive, tighten up those rotations on offense, I think that could be beneficial to whoever wants to win this game.
Yeah, looking to continue this offense into this corner, and man, it's just so tough to crack through this Baltimore defense, or the Baltimore Boxers defense. And Jasek finally maybe getting a chance here. Looking for the Astral pinch. Does not quite find it. Bump running ahead. Maybe a chance to shoot, but he has no boost to get there quick enough. And the defense swiftly gets back. Blot looking for the back of the net, but this time as Eli has a quick stop. Another shot comes through. Another save comes through. Ripping that one towards the sidewall, but a lot of heavy clears. Maybe a one to the back of the net. Blot just barely sliding home in time. Now off the backboard, another awkward read, but Blot yet again having it. It is just so much pressure. It seems like the entire game is being played on a knife's edge. And now looking to turn it around on this, but Parker can't turn his car around quickly enough to get an offensive chance after let Fluke drive into him and in fact pass that ball back out to his teammate. Air dribble bump comes through. Two players have to come in. This might be a good chance for the Boxers, or sorry, for the Akron Kings that is, and now it actually just dissolves immediately and a slight triple commit comes through. All three players have 100 boosts, but it just results in nothing. Even more time being wasted. Eli goes missing. Parker is going to maybe be the first one of this ball. I lied. Aqua 3 is waiting in the wings, and it is just non-stop action, but no goals being scored. If we are going into golden goal territory.
Yeah, and this is absolutely turning into more of a tennis match than a soccer match, as we see both teams banging the ball down the field, getting down into the quarter of the other team. However, really nothing. A missed touch by Fluke that could have been dangerous, but Bleha was able to get to it. Very, very tough situation there. But, you know, we're seeing a lot of shots, a lot of long shots, but we're not really seeing much transition from offense to defense on really either side, and that has kept it a low-scoring series so far. And we are going to finally see, as it drops down to the field, we're going to see our first overtime in game number 2. I got to give the advantage going to Baltimore right now. They have looked a little bit cleaner. They've been able to at least get connections with each other without really putting themselves in any danger. I feel like they're, like I said,
what just happened? Did you see that?
I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if Aqua thought he was on the other side of the field or what, but it almost like he was trying to score in his own net.
Yeah, and I feel like Jasek's the one that saved it. I think there was an own goal attempt and an own save attempt. I am very lost to what just happened right there, and I feel like that ball, I don't know what happened, but I feel like the other two players on each other's teams were playing against each other. But I don't even know how to describe it. They flipped teams for a second there, but it seems like they're going back to normal Rocket League now, and advances, and we are in golden goal territory now for sure. I mean, looking for that one opportunity, that one chance, and nobody at this point wants to be the one to make that mistake, but it might come here off the post. Oh my goodness, that could have been it.
Wow, what a series of events that are unfolding here. We have, maybe it's the, you know, maybe you said that there were two players on the field that have in history played together. Maybe they got confused and thought maybe they were on the same team again. But fortunately for Baltimore, it's not really gonna cost them anything as of yet, but that could be something that they would look back on and be like, man, you know, it would have been awesome if we'd have made that great play just on the other side of the field. But we're trying to get the touch here, looking for Bleha. Aqua putting it on the right side wall. I'm not sure if that was the smartest play, as the momentum was definitely pushing towards the left side of the field, but nothing real dangerous about it. Parker trying to pop this up, looking for maybe a drop down. Fluke is there. Jasek's gonna get the touch here. It's an open net, but Bleha's there. It gets beat off of 50. Aqua's gonna get this. He's gonna boom it down the field, looking for Fluke. Fluke's got it. He can get the redirect. He can't. Akron with the last second ditch save there. That's gonna keep them alive in this overtime, and it's gonna get Jasek's gonna get a floater here. Fluke's gonna have to block this. Jasek back up, looking for the corner. He finds it, and it's going to be in.
Wow.
What a series of events there.
It's a complete turnaround. I mean, the Akron Kings in this overtime had all the pressure, despite, if I'm honest, the Baltimore Boxers looked like the better team in all of regulation. But some sort of switch got flipped once it went to overtime, and they were just nothing but non-stop pressure. The gas was being put to 100, pedal to the metal, and they just eventually drive through that brick wall and get themselves a win here. And man, that's got to feel good to bounce back. And this was, in my opinion, maybe not a must-win, but the most important game of the series, because this is the difference between needing a reverse sweep and keeping this an even series. So in overtime, able to settle this game. Acheron Kings coming out of here with at least a win to even up things, but it really is on a knife's edge. This is once again an unbelievably close series, and so far both these games could have gone either way. I mean, this one in particular, all the way in what was at 2 minutes 30 some seconds in overtime. I mean, really a hard to forget series, and already this one's going down in the memory book. So we got to keep going here. Lots of rivalries being settled here, and one of these teams can end up on top, and this is where the momentum really starts to shift, where one of these teams will, break the ice and take the lead here. You want to put yourself on that double match point and see who can prevail in that.
Yeah, and the rivalry, talking about, so, losing game number 1, I feel like for either team, the win or the loss, the second game being kind of either the response for the losing team of the first game, or kind of the second form of the statement coming from the winning team. And oh my God, Eli with an incredible play there. Gonna get the air dribble, takes it off the wall, goes for the second pop in the right-hand corner of the net, just barely out of the reach of the defenders. And right now we're seeing Akron take the early lead here in this game. They need this one to maybe drive that momentum to try to put this on top. Ooh, and a missed touch there. Eli tried to get it. Parker's going to get this boom down the field. It's just going to wave off of it, looking to get the boost. He does get it. Going to challenge here, but he's met by 2 orange players. Parker tried to get the touch, but it just barely sails over the top of his car. We're going to try and get the tape, but Parker is just being a nuisance right now. Just trying to do everything he can to keep the ball in possession of Akron. Trying desperately to hold on to this lead here. But I'm telling you right now, Baltimore is not making it easy for them at all. These guys are absolutely trying their best to just disrupt everything that Akron has going for them at the moment. But it's not going to be enough as Eli takes the next shot. And I believe that is his first. The stats didn't update in time for me to see it. That is his second goal. And what a play by Eli.
2 goals, 2 shots. He is locked in right now, firing on all cylinders from that corner, and he's going to need to continue on the pressure here and continue advancing in this series. He's trying to fly up to this one at an awkward angle from Blondot. Already there to shut that play down. He comes through, and Parker trying to advance to that play quickly, but it has absolutely no boost, but at least forcing out a play. Aqua rips this one off the sidewall, trying to set up Blondot, but that play fizzles out a little bit short. Parker gets up early, looking for that quick sidewall to get the play out. Oh my goodness, that pinch does come flying out. It had some pace on it, but slowed down by the ceiling. Had some brakes on it at the very least. Parker looking to continue flying after this ball. Aqua turns on a dime, but with no boost, just bangs it up. Fluke already waiting in the wings, looking to take a shot, top bids, and oh my goodness, Eli. Once again, we said firing on all cylinders, but we're talking about offense, but now showing that he's got the brakes as well, and absolutely stopping this Baltimore Boxers team in their tracks. I said Baltimore Boxers as if they're not, swinging constantly and throwing haymakers all the time. But, I mean, that was a brilliant shot. I mean, what an absolute play. But Akron Kings holding on to their 2 goals.
Yeah, Blakehood going to get the redirect here off the wall, but it gets sailed just by him. He tried to get the double tap. Couldn't quite get it. Maybe trying to get in position for a shot. Fluke gets the touch here. It's going to fall down, but Parker's able to get to it. Eli looking to continue this play. He's got it. He's got the setup. He gets the flick. Can it go in? It does. It bounces off the backboard and falls down into the net. Great play by Eli. Very, very mechanical skill set there. Gets the flip off of the reset and just gives it just enough kiss to bounce off that backboard straight down into the net. Almost had a little bit of a chip shot there, making the golf reference. Phil Mickelson was a great player back in my day, and that guy was able to literally hit a ball backwards. So Eli really looking to channel that inner play, and he was able to find it there. Blayhood looking to try to take this up the wall, gonna take it down in the center, looking for a flick off the backboard. Can he get it? No, he can't. Parker gonna clear this out. Aqua gonna take the second shot here, trying to get something going down to the middle for his teammate. Fluke gets it over, but it's gonna get passed right over to Eli. Jason's gonna have possession of the ball here, but it gets beaten away by Aqua. Blayhood with the touch, gonna play off the backboard here. It gets flicked away. That was tough. Fluke gets the shot, but it's again off the top crossbar, making the ding. And I tell you what, every time that ball hits that crossbar and makes that sound, you just want to choke the life out of that crossbar, because you just know that you were just so close. And there's just absolutely nothing you can do about it. It's almost laughing at you the entire time.
Bounce back to Series Blood, firing off the backboard. It's a fantastic touch from Jason to rip that one all the way down. In fact, it's gonna result in the goal. That was a crazy touch right there. A little bit of a psycho, just rips that one down. Parker able to clean up those scraps, but an excellent play here for the Akron Kings to put them up 4. And this is a momentum game, man. I mean, they went from really having, tough match all of game 1, really all of game 2 regulation was not going their way, but that overtime into game 3 has been nothing but cash and money for them. Eli turned it up a notch and able to get one more on this scoreboard. Now shooting 4 for 3. I was gonna be happy to say 4 for 4, but he's doing even better than that. He's getting a better deal than Wendy's. Guys, go check him out. See where he's buying, because he is just going absolutely berserk out here, and it's gonna be tough to stop him when he's firing this high. I mean, he is just really, really cooking right now.
I think that man went into the match settings with that new feature we got and just added a goal to his name. But he doesn't need it, because Eli is just all over these goals. He has now scored his 5th goal of this game and has absolutely been the playmaker in every game of the series. And 6-0 with 50 seconds left to play, that is going to be an extremely tall order when you have Parker and Eli mixing it up almost right there, almost a pig with Jasek. That could have been absolutely just devastating. That ball definitely would have gone at least a couple of 80, 90 miles an hour. That would have been absolutely disgusting. Aqua gonna get a touch here, gonna look for his teammate, but he waves off of it. Smart decision, as there were 3 defenders on it. Looking at the counteroffensive by Akron now. Jasek just gets beat. No, he's able to control it. He's gonna pop this up. Looking for a teammate to help him out here. Eli gets the touch, gonna dribble it. Fluke gonna back pass it down to Blayhood. Can't quite get it. So we're gonna see this ball. I think right now Baltimore just needs to let it go and just let it drop, so they can just move on to the next game, because this was probably not the best look that Baltimore was expecting coming into game number 3 after that very, very close overtime in game number in the last game. So that's just tough. I mean, to go from struggling to get through the overtime of the last game, getting that really great play at the end of the game, and then to come in for Akron to come in and 6-0 Baltimore, that's going to be a little bit of hurt to the pride of Baltimore. But I really don't know what I can really suggest for Baltimore to reel this back in. Zombie, you got anything for him?
Yeah, I have a start. I think I have to start with the defensive line, because we see 6 goals this game, and normally, it takes maybe a little bit of resistance to get that, but 0 saves. I mean, they didn't stop a single attempt on net. Not a single time did they put a hand up. They got to start by putting some hands up, and I mean, I don't know where their defense is being played, but it's definitely not the goal line, and I think maybe they got to start just putting a hand up. I don't know what else to say. I mean, right now they really are struggling on the defensive end, and I mean, all of Rocket League, obviously it's you'll win by putting the ball back in the net. I mean, of course, eventually you got to start by starting up some offense, but you're not even trapped on defense. It feels like all of your offensive chances are resulting in goals for the opposing team. So maybe focus less on going all in on these, kamikaze type attacks and having no one left back to even defend, and maybe lock up a little bit and stop their role, because they are burning so unbelievably hot. It feels like there's nothing they can do but watch the goal go into the back of their net. But trying to round out this game, and already a few chances coming through here, they need to figure a lot of stuff out.
They tried to figure it out there. They almost got to squeeze through, but to no avail. Akron doing such a great job on their defensive side, and that's something that you talked about. Like right here, Fluke all by himself tried to get the back pass, but for what? There was nobody there. Fluke had to come off of the play to try to get that save, and that could have put them in a very difficult situation on top of the difficult situation that they're having, trying to maintain something in this series. We got Parker trying to get the flicker, can't quite get it. Blada's going to try and get something to work, but you talked about it's just insurmountable right now. We talked about like in the last series where they were leaving one man back and all that stuff, but they were aggressive at the same time, so it was working for them. Right now, Baltimore is trying to be aggressive. They're trying to, but they're not able to. They're leaving the one man behind, but with no real benefit to it. So. I agree with you. I think the defense needs to, it all starts with the defense. They need to get the defense on point before they can work on that transition to offense, and then hopefully get the scores that they've been looking for throughout the series. But, Fluke trying to get the play here, and this is what we're talking about. They've got 3 defenders, but it doesn't matter because Aqua's going to be there for the pass. Fluke gets the touch here, does it all with no boost. He gets boost at the end, which does help him out, but I don't feel like the boost is really a factor there as much as it was just a blatant miss by the Akron defense.
Yeah, finally, they're stopping, some of those offensive chances. They got some sort of bulletproof armor now, and they're able to stop out some of those chances, despite not it being on the goal line, but they're at least canceling out some of those chances and giving themselves a way out into defense. A couple demos coming through here, and Mike's going to even force the defense to double commit. Now a little bit of an awkward chance here into the corner, gets a save out, and now Eli pressing the play once again. Outplay, Jasek looking for the backboard, now double, can't get it this time, and Blada will sit underneath the play to get that ball out. Double commit comes through, might be a chance, open the other way. Blada chasing after, get this ball center. It's a heavy touch, in fact, it might even help out the Kings here, and now a little bit of time to breathe, slowing that play down, but that just gives the Akron Kings a little bit more time to go get some boost and now challenge. When you're up boost like that, I feel like you should be pressing, but this time that play will fizzle out, and it's going to be, I'm saying this, but the Boxers are holding on their 1-goal lead right now, but I'm just not convinced one will be enough to seal the deal here, as we just saw them score 6. Eventually one of their chances will go through, but so far the Boxers have done well to stop most of these incoming attacks.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of time. I mean, you can definitely tell that the aggression has been picked up by Akron. These guys, they're definitely putting more pressure on the offensive side. They're definitely putting, Baltimore on their back foot on the defensive side. That last game they scored, Akron scored 6 goals. Have yet to score one here, but the offense can wear down the defense, and if you let it wear yourselves down, that will result in some missteps and cause you to start racking up those goals in quick succession. But right now, Fluke is doing a good job of trying to lead some type of attack. Aqua floats at the goal line trying to get something to happen. Blada gets a shot. It's a top left, and what a great play there. I hate to sound unspectacular, but sometimes the best plays are the unspectacular ones. As long as it gets the job done, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to work.
Yeah, and finally, just holding on for dear life. Their defense has come full circle. We saw them really struggling, and now really locking it down on the defensive end and breaking out and turning these into some counterattacks and maybe getting another chance here. Striking low. In fact, it's going to be good. Fluke now making it 3, and we have seen this pendulum swing the complete opposite way now. The other game, it was really the Akron Kings dominating fully, and now the boot is on the other foot, and the Boxers are now the one step in. I mean, this has been a complete switch up.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of switching it up. Kind of changing. I really feel like they didn't really start coming alive until later on in this game. But they have come alive. It's almost kind of like the NASCAR theory where it's a 200 lap race, and for 159 laps you're just kind of cruising, but in the last few minutes, in the last couple of laps, you're now starting to put the pressure on. I really feel like that's what Baltimore has started to do, and it's starting to work as we're seeing a lot more offensive time on the ball for Baltimore, and it's resulting in more goals, giving them the advantage here. Oh, a demo coming in. That's going to change the possession. Eli trying to make the shot, but Fluke again having to be that nuisance, and he has really been a really talked about player in this game. He has a goal. He has 3 shots. He's got 3 saves. He has been able to do it all, and he's finally going to try and set this one down. But Parker's going to try and take the shot here. Can he get it? And he does get it. A little too late for Akron, but maybe that could be, something to walk away proud of in the last closing seconds of this game. That, hey, we actually were able to score it, and maybe that could carry on to the next game.
Yeah, even though it's a small thing, but that one goal can be enough to just roll into the next one and maybe feel good about yourself. You didn't come out of this game empty-handed. You got out of here with at least something. Finally, all that pressure built up and at least did something, because up until that moment, it really felt like they spent 5 minutes doing absolutely nothing with their constant pressure. But finally, breaking the ice and finding the back of the net, it's got to at least feel decent. So hopefully they're able to turn that into some more pressure going into this last game here. But now, yeah, like we said, the last game, game 5, and this has really been back and forth. It is really hard to predict this either way, but I had a feeling this one was going to 5. I did, every time this Boston team play, they seem to go the distance, so we find ourselves here, and this is just so many familiar faces. I'd be surprised to see them not go the distance here. So here we are, game 5, and everything will be settled here. A rivalry will maybe not be settled, but it will be further drawn out. It'll be interesting to see which way it goes this time, but here we go. A kickoff strike comes through, and for the Boxers, can they make something of it? They maybe get the ball, but it does come flying back to their half, and Fluke goes completely missing. Oh my goodness, missing even worse. And both teams go band for missing the net worse, and still opportunities are flying in for the Akron Kings. Eventually it will go to the back of the net, but oh my goodness, a little bit embarrassing for both squads, but I don't think the Akron Kings are going to be too mad as they do come away here with a goal. In fact, that's a little bit of a ghost touch on our end. Aqua 3 maybe scammed out a little bit of that save, but and the game says there's no touch, so there's no touch. You got to go next, and that kickoff strat did not pay off this time.
And what I say earlier, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to work. And right now, Akron is trying to make it work, regardless of how pretty or ugly it is. And Aqua getting the touch here. It's just going to float down to Jacek. Jacek gets the touch, but it's going to pass out to Eli, who gets the beat here, trying to make an offensive play. It's Aqua just kind of floats there. Oh, almost a redirect. Parker almost put it in his own net. That would have been kind of dangerous. They do walk away with it, but yeah, I mean, Baltimore looking to squeeze one into play, gets the touch, and it's going to sail in. Basically tried to challenge it, had 2 players there. Parker was the last back. He flipped into it, tried to get the ball over to the corner. He misses it, and that's going to be the walk-in, and that's going to tie this game up. 3 minutes and 59 seconds left to play, and this is for all the beans here. We are in game number 5. You talked about the rivalries. We love, as Rocket League players, we love to have that little rivalry talk, and that those couple of missteps of the game are always going to be the laughing points and stuff. But also being able to talk a little trash, especially when you got and I'm sure it's a friendly rivalry. It's not really anything heated, but it's always fun to be able to talk back and forth. Eli comes in, Jason gets the cleanup, and that's going to put them 1 goal ahead. Eli with the great patience there. Aqua tried to get the challenge, couldn't. Fluke off the backboard, tried to drop down, couldn't get the touch. And that is going to put Akron ahead very late in this game number, midway through game number 5. Wow. Oh no, Jason gets the beat, and oh my god, what a goal! What a read by Jason. Parker gets the kickoff, Aqua comes in to pop this down the field, Jason just gets the read, and absolutely just outplays the defender in a quick succession. I guess you could call that a kickoff goal coming in for Akron. And that 3-1's got to feel really comfortable coming into the later stages of this final match.
It's really, really brutal for both squads, honestly, but even more so the Boxers. I mean, it is just a very nervous game. That doesn't seem like, I feel like Aqua would never make that mistake typically, but the nerves are coming out here in game 5, the worst time they could be coming out, and it is just really, really brutal. Luke is trying to get that reset, but he misses out on it. No touch, no reset. Boost is running dry for Blada, who's advancing the play, but it fizzles out here in this corner. So many players are meeting ends, but it somehow finds its way out. Aqua, or Eli, mind you, is trying to make a play. Big flick to the top mid. It's going to be put over Parker. Oh no, the Boxers are now down 3. They got to start fighting back, or else the Akron Kings are going to walk home with a big win here. And, I mean, it just looks like a nervous Rocket League. What are the both squads, to be honest, there are big mistakes that we would have never seen in previous parts of the series happening 3, 4, 5 times this series, maybe 6 or 7. I mean, it's happened so many times, and it has just been a brutal series. Another crucial play comes through, and another big mistake. Jasek will walk away here. Fantastic play, outplaying 3 players, but it just doesn't seem like the Baltimore Boxers that we've seen for the rest of the series. And now they got to fight back with less than half this game, and they got to score 4 goals. It just seems like a hopeless task, but they're going to keep on pushing through and trying their best. In fact, it's only going to be 3 wins. No way! Absolutely no way to this ball. How did that ball not
I tell you what, man, oh my god, it just almost seems like, no offense to Baltimore, but it's almost feeling like they're just, at this point, just checked out mentally. It's just, they're trying their best, but just nothing is going. And I mean, they almost feel like they're playing just already defeated. They're really not really, they don't have that mojo going right now. And I feel like they're just kind of, at this point, going through the motions, because maybe they sense the inevitable of, you know, closing the series out with Akron being on top, but I'm not seeing that aggressiveness that we saw throughout the series, and it's really, really costing them as Jasek puts the nail in the coffin with goal number 6 for Akron. Eli get a great touchdown to him. Aqua just had to just do something, but Baltimore playing completely defeated right now, and maybe just kind of just waiting for this series to settle out, but not really seeing Baltimore that we we saw in the earlier games. So it's possible, but they gotta be playing. They gotta do something absolutely amazing for the next 10 or so seconds each goal. That's such an insurmountable task given what we've seen so far. I think Akron has just outplayed them, and I think Baltimore is starting to sense that as Eli getting his first goal of the game, but that is goal number 7, and we are in Brazil territory. That is a scary feeling, knowing that you played your heart and soul out for the Baltimore side just to end the series on this type of note.
Yeah, it's just such a brutal result for the Baltimore Boxers to walk out of here like this. You still got a minute left, and you're still fighting, still giving it everything you're worth, but this is just, for the rest of the series to turn up like this, especially even just last game where you guys really were the ones dominating, it just has got to really feel bad. But yeah, you're gonna have to just pick yourself up by your bootstraps and continue on in the next series, in the next week, in the game after that, or whatever happens from here on out. You got to believe in yourself. But it has been a brutal showing for the Boxers today, and another Game 5 loss. They have just got to be kicking themselves over and over again. It just keeps happening time and time again. And although they're right now currently this team is at 12. I could see them more moving up to maybe a 10 slot. maybe higher than that even, but I know they got to be happy with what they got right now. That, you know, at least they get out of here with 2 points. You know, every game does matter, so them going to Game 5 at least gives them more points than if they got swept. But you know, this is not the fashion which they wanted to you know, exit this game with. And you know, GG's come through, and we'll have to see them in the next time, because this was a pretty brutal Game 5.
Yeah, that was kind of rough. Not gonna lie, Baltimore definitely, you know, leaving as soon as the match was over. I gotta give it to them. They did play the best that they could. They had moments where, you know, I really thought that they were gonna be able to pull this out. I mean, you know, Akron, you know, 6-0ing them, and then they coming back and 5-0ing Akron. If you'd have asked me, you know, after that match, would it be settled out? I really felt like Baltimore could have been the victor out of this series, but like that last game and really the last 3 minutes of that game just didn't feel like the Baltimore that we were expecting to show up. And I think that's really the game changer, and that's what cost them the series.
Yeah, looking to continue on, and you know, we're gonna have to. They're gonna have to bounce back for sure. You know, that's not exactly the prettiest game for them, or you know, it's Rocket League. You know, it's really up, and there's lots of up and downs. There's lots of twists and turns. So they're gonna have to bounce back here and find their way back into this week. But you know, I think they still have another match here for today's. I could be mistaken. Maybe they pulled both their games already, but they still got lots more Rocket League. And talking about lots more Rocket League, we have lots more Rocket League for today. You know, we're going to be moving into our next match here pretty momentarily, but we do have to go in a quick break there, so we'll be right back with lots more amazing Rocket League coming to you soon.
That shit on the headlight.
Let's get this show on the road, guys. We're back with some more CSA, and we are now going to be showing up some novice gameplay, and this is going to be a tough one. You know, this is going to be a dicey one. Looking to see who can come out on top this time. We've had 2 Game 5s. We're looking to see maybe we get another one for tonight. You know, why not just pile them on for this fantastic night of Rocket League? You know, we got 2 really solid squads down here in novice, and I believe both these teams are doing pretty well in the standings. We got the Toronto 6, and we've got the Rochester Renegades, I believe, here. Well, I think almost every single player on both squads are here, ready to sub in. We're ready to already hop into things, so we're telling them to fire off and get into this game. Without further ado, let's hop right into things. We do our prediction as we're getting into things here, Raptor. This is a tough one for me. This is a really tough one for me. You know, this is a Rochester team that has stuck together since draft and have had decent results. They haven't, you know, they've been sticking near the top, but they didn't have the most impressive Major 1. While, you know, similar kind of story for this 6 team, I believe. Let me check if they've had results in the Major. Maybe they got second rounded or first rounded. I don't quite remember, but both these squads have been pretty impressive all season long.
Yeah, I was just looking at the stats while we were trying to get everything set up. So, looking at Rochester, you know, they're sitting at 27 points over the season, sitting at 7th right now. Toronto, however, has 36 points, so they are quite a few points ahead. So, I think I'm gonna go with Toronto, and I did do their broadcast for the Major, and they did look really good. So. Look for Toronto to be the team to beat here in this series.
Yeah, Toronto are definitely the team I'm predicting to come out on top here. I think that the new addition of Spoon has been nothing but an absolute success. He is a whirlwind of a player to try fighting up against, and it is a really difficult. I think he's going to be a X factor here in this game, and Spooky and Desi are no one to sleep about. In fact, Spooky, Desi, and Napier, that is their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th rounder. That is the previous novice team that won last season. It's literally the same team. They've been assembled back on this squad with a new and approved first rounder to join them. In fact, J-Bay and Power are going to be meeting here in the middle to start off the scoring in this series. It's just an interesting thing to see over there on the Toronto 6 that they literally have the Rochester Renegades from last season on their team. So it is a little bit of a Rochester matchup here. And I mean, there's a lot of Rochester here. This is going to be a really interesting showdown.
Yeah, you know, and you know, we talked about the rivals in the last series that we were watching. You know, 2 former team members going at it. You know, it's always kind of fun to play against the guys that, you know, you've worked with, you've practiced with, you've trained with, knowing that, you know, those guys, knowing their strengths, knowing their weaknesses, knowing that they're good guys to play with. But you know, something about just being able to jump in and possibly get the win over top of them, kind of just you know, maybe like a little bit of a bragging right that, hey, you know, we got you on this one. Luki tried to get a touch, but got demoed for it. And, you know, right off the bat, we're seeing a lot of midfield plays here for positioning. Kirby, unfortunately, can get the own goal in a very, very undramatic fashion. Just drove at the net, trying to get the turn. Realized that he was probably going to be looking down the barrel of a shotgun, and just decided that he's just going to accept the fate. So move on and, you know, brush that mistake off and push towards getting your team up into the win here.
Yeah, it's also a really tight angle shot there from Spoony. In fact, he's looking to do it yet again. Is blocked out this time. Looking to maybe turn things around here in this corner. Kirby trying to press out here. One out to J-Bay. J-Bay getting a breakout to the sidewall, but Power's just going to call him off and get a free chance in the air here. Just rips one towards the back wall. Water falling down. Dempsey has a nice read and a good response. Kirby trying to fire this one towards them, but Powers just parks in front of the ball, blocking this one out. And, you know, the GM of these former players of the other team, I mean, this has got to be an interesting matchup. Power tried to get up to this one. It is a decent touch, and now an awkward bounce out. Looking to maybe make a flick. It's going to be fighting his way to the corner, and oh my goodness, it will be tapped in. Spoon able to clean up Spooky's wonderful play, and so far, this has been a very dangerous 16 to match up against. And Rochester, the new Rochester, are having a hard time against the old Rochester.
Yeah, so, you know, how do we call this? Are we calling it Rochester 1, Rochester 2.0, you know? And, you know, yeah, you know, you're looking at Toronto looking really good. You know, we kind of called that in a prediction that they were definitely going to be the team to beat in this series. And so far, they are showing why they are. They are up 2, and you know, great play by Spoon here. Gets the touch. Going to try to drop this down. Got the reset on it. Couldn't quite complete the play. Desi going to get called off here. Spoon's going to get the shot down the field. Maybe looking for Desi again. Gets kicked off to the corner. Howard going to get a shot. Going to go for the ceiling. Going to look for a pinch here. He gets the pinch, but it just goes wide. Right into Spooky's hands. He's just going to try and flip this down the field. Had no power on it. Didn't have any boost to really do anything with it. So we're going to continue the squabble at the midfield here.
Oh, no.
Oh, got the touch to try to get the redirect. That would have been absolutely crazy to see an angle like that. Davey trying to maybe put something together. Desi's going to get down. Looking for Spoon. Spoon gets a good 50. It's just going to kind of sail around. Just kind of floating there, but looking at both sides looking pretty clean right now. It's just a matter of who's going to make the ultimate mistake that's going to put this ball in the net.
Yeah, and we were looking at that last play in that corner where Power might have had a crazy double. If he just sat back in mid, that ball was rolling on the goal line. Just a little bit of patience right there would have resulted in a really nice chance. J-Bay can't quite get to that shot as he has absolutely no boost in his reserves. Looking to maybe make the last play here. Kirby flicks it up on 0 seconds, but a team bump yet again will put the Rochester Renegades in a really tough spot. A wonderful save comes through, but the time dwindles down. There's 0 seconds left on the clock. They need to keep this ball up. Rochester do what they can, but J-Bay gets dunked out by Desi, slamming into the back of the net, showing no, this variation of the Rochester Renegades is better.
So is Toronto 2.0 or are they 1.0 improved?
I think it's 1.0 improved because it is the old version of Rochester, but now on the 6th with Spoon. So it is a
new and improved, right? Yeah, good showing by really both teams, but you know, excuse me, Rochester pulling it out just a tiny little bit. I don't know, I'm kind of too close to call right now. I know the score, you know, says 3-1, but I feel like they were pretty much dead even.
In different spaces, yeah, I think it was a lot closer than what 3-1 seemed. I mean, it only became 3-1 on 0 seconds when they had to basically do anything they could to keep it alive. So it definitely was very close. I will say the X factor in this series so far has been Spoon. He has been a step above, in my opinion, to the rest of the herd here. Going to be looking forward to see how, you know, these players match up, and I think someone needs to, on the side of the Rochester Renegades, they need to step up and match Spoon because he seems to be shoulders above right now.
Yeah, he's definitely been the playmaker so far. I've seen his name pop up and be involved in most every challenge, you know, play that has really come about. But Davey tried to get the touch here. Power here trying to sneak one in, but Spooky's not going to let that happen. Our MVP Spoon trying to get something down the field. He gets blocked out. Davey's going to try and take this off the corner. Going to drop this down. Desi gets a good block on it, but he gets awkward and can't quite stay on the play. Spooky looking for a ceiling challenge here. Doesn't go his way, but Spoon is there for the backup. Desi with a 50 here. JP gets the 50, but it's right over to Spoon. Spooky looking to get that second touch, looking for a pass, at least a shot, but none of it either way is going to fall through. Now we're going to try and redirect this off the sidewall, looking for the redirect again, but runs out of boost, runs out of momentum, couldn't quite get to the ball. And my oh my, this is turning into just a tennis match back and forth. You know, very, very reminiscent of what we see early on in our series. It's still coming through right now. Not really seeing anything too crazy or too mechanically crazy, but Spoon trying to do something crazy, can't quite get it all there. And Spoon definitely showing that he has the potential to be a deadly scorer.
Finally, breaking through the ice. Power has a fantastic solo play of his own, outplaying basically the entire team, and forces out a bad touch for Desi. Kirby has a free net to shoot on Spoon, not quite able to circle back and get that save out, but now putting themselves up one, and they got themselves a lead here. Can they hold on to it and secure the win, even up this series? They got to find out here. Power, back pass over to Kirby. Kirby able to respond quickly. That's the high ball. Very awkward here for Spooky. In fact, he just opts to pinch it across the field for Desi, who takes a nice control touch past one. Looking to maybe just take it the whole distance. Excellent save. The shot is coming through. It's placed well. Far post. No defender able to save that one.
And all the defenders got kind of bunched up in the net here. You see two defenders in the back basically holding hands, both of them committing to the save. But, you know, as we just saw, the second touch is usually the one that is the most dangerous. So, you know, unfortunately, they just got beat off of the shot there. Just really had nowhere to go. They tried to get the diving save and just could not come at a worse opportune time to get caught in the back of the net. I'm going to try and take this up over, looking to get the touch. He does off the backboard. Very clinical play there. Starts off with zero with full boost. It's a great dribble and just turns his car nose down, and that's going to find its way into the back of the net. 2 minutes and 56 seconds left to play, and we are seeing Toronto starting to pull ahead in this game. But there is still plenty of Rocket League to play, and you know, Rochester 1.0 could bring it back. Lots of time on the clock with just a 1-goal difference, and I suspect that you know, 1 or 2 goals is going to be the deciding factor between who wins and who takes the loss.
Yeah, looking to continue pressing on here. Desi dangerously bringing it back towards the center of his own box, but is able to keep it out temporarily. Respected the double tap, but nothing comes through, so now a little bit more ways to boost. J-Babe trying to pile on the pressure. Another high pass comes through. Spooky passes out to Desi. Desi absolutely no boost, but uses what little he has to get that touch there. Spoon in a really awkward spot. Pass, shot, too high. Seems like the third or fourth time we've seen that chance, but the Toronto 6 have just barely held on. Another shot comes through off the backboard yet again. The Rochester Renegades are having such a hard time finding the back of the net, but finally, shot after shot after shot, eventually something finds the back of the net, and it's good.
It took a full team effort on both sides there on offense and defense. Rochester, you know, getting the goal, but all 6 players were within the goal line of the field, and it just was a matter of time of, you know, was it going to be a beat down the field or was it going to be a goal? And it turned out to be the goal, but it is the tie-up goal. So Rochester, you know, coming back from that 1-down deficit, and at this point, with time ticking down, I really fully believe that unless something absolutely crazy happens, the next goal is going to be ultimately what is going to decide this game. Shot coming in, Desi gets a great save. JV going to try and pop this off the backboard, maybe looking for a teammate. Spoon's able to get a touch on it. Kirby's going to pop this back down. And Desi and Spooky collide, but Spooky's going to be down the field looking to get the touch down the field. Spoon fires another shot. Can't quite get it down. Desi's going to stop in the field trying to 50 this. Can't quite get the 50. It's going to get popped up by Kirby. Looking for just a throw up the backboard, trying to get something to happen. Try to at least draw off the defense to maybe get a decent passing play here. And as I said, Kirby just finds the top of the crossbar, just barely missing out, and that would be a shot you would want to take back. But they are still on the offensive as Kirby takes another shot. JV's looking to slow this down. One defender beat by Spoon. Desi's going to take over. He's going to push this off to the side. Maybe looking to get a pass over. Can't get the cross. Power was trying to take it up the wall. Gets beat down. Desi going to pop this over one defender. Possibly, no. Power actually was able to make the save. Spoon going to reset this down. Looking for the backboard. It's going to drop down, but it's not going to fall. And Power makes a great save there. Wow, I tell you what, this is absolutely just a fast-paced game right now. And oh my, Zom, we have a game on our hands.
Yeah, it's still on the goal line. Maybe another chance, but Rochester really trying to put a home one of these last chances. They're going to have one last chance here. It's in front of the box. Can someone put it home? Kirby's a little bit too stuffed, looking for the pass out, but once again blocked away. It's a rule one being respected on the goal line. And The 2v2 is quickly vanquished, and now we're going to be finding ourselves into this overtime. Looking to break the ice here. Looking to take a nice shot towards target. The Power looking to take a little bit of control here. It's really awkward. Demo comes through. Power looking to take a flick here, but it actually goes a little bit south into their end. It's really dangerous. Spoon looking to take a shot. Power has a nice speed out. Looking to now run down the other end. Little boost of his. Looking to maybe find a pass. Solos it out. Gets past one. Kirby and JB both commit. The shot is no good. It's saved away. It did require 2 players though, and now struggling to turn that into an offensive chance. The counterattack is not there. Spoon is at least able to put the pressure on, but Desi have to relieve those duties and take that ball. J-Bay, 50-50 comes through, is now firing back into this corner, and it is nothing but back and forth. Pressure, another shot comes through, saved away, and man, Rochester are going to really feel the pain if they lose this one, and maybe they should have now, because they've had so many golden opportunities that have slipped between their fingers.
Both sides have really had the opportunities. They're just not able to get the goal to score. I mean, Kirby again with a backboard pass, but he has been hitting the top of the crossbar so many times. You feel like one of those should have gone in. Almost a dribble into the field, into the net. Desi was there for it, but yeah, both teams have had ample opportunities. Neither one able to really convert. Power tried to get a shot, but he pushes it wide. We got an open ball here. Spooky gets it down the field, looking for a teammate. Nobody's there. Desi gets a 50, looking for the shot. Could be an open net here, but nobody is there on the offensive side of Toronto. And that, I feel like, is a missed opportunity there. But we keep on playing. Spoon trying to get something happen. Spooky, out to Spooky, gets off to the corner. Davey going to try and control this down, but he gets Demo looking for a play here. But they are shut down immediately, having to fight on the goal line. Spooky up the wall, gets 50 by JB. It's going to be off the backboard. Spoon booms it off to the side. Looking to get a touch, but he misses the touch. Desi gets the touch. Finally, it's going to be right over to Power. Power's going to knock this over down to center, looking for Kirby, but it sails over top of Kirby. That's okay. Power's got the play. He's got it off the ceiling. He's got the dribble. Can he get it past the defender? He can't. Desi gets a great save. Oh my lord, what a series of events here.
Yeah, it's a fantastic save, but I mean, I bet the shot once again could have been placed a bit better, just in the direct center of the goal on the ground. I mean, as long as the defender is in net, they'll have to save, but oh my goodness, barely able to get back. That was a shot that had some pace on it and required a little bit of hustle to get back to, and they had bustle as well, and maybe a shot, but the Demo is not found. Looking to maybe a midfield pass here, but it goes missing. Kirby got to lift this one high. Spoon taking his time, full boost, chips this one out. Desi trying to cut the play, but Power is already there. Looking for the 1-2, but Spoon shuts that play down yet again. Another Demo comes through and maybe halting this pressure from growing any longer, but a big miss comes through. J-Bay trying to take a shot. Spooky with absolutely no boost to play with. Has to do what he can just to get the touch. 50-50 comes through, firing back into the sixes half here. Another shot being wound up towards the backboard. Spoon is there, prepared for it, but no boost. He can't really follow it. 50-50 does ensue, and this is just unbelievable pressure for the Rochester Renegades. Will a chance ever come through? Another clear, but now the six have finally collected enough boost to maybe start an offensive attack here, and it seems like the Rochester Renegades maybe overextended a bit, but they do find a really nice clear, able to give themselves a little bit of breathing room. But another miss comes through. Spooky. Hopefully not going to get punished for that one, because it is a brutal way to go out. Shade either trying to find a perfect shot or a pass. Either way, it gets saved out.
And both teams are struggling right now just to try to put something together, just to keep it out of their net, let alone a shot. And we see Spooky almost gets the shot, but Kirby was able to get the backstop. But you know, they're able to get down the field, but by the time they get down to the field, they just can't do anything with it. And it's just back and forth in that same fashion. Neither team willing to budge on offense or defense. And, you know, we're seeing so many mistakes. How much of that is just, you know, just panic at this point, trying to just get something to go. We're almost at a whole nother game played in overtime, trying to decide this match, this specific match. And, I mean, good God. Both teams are struggling right now, but it's going to maybe be an open net, but it's going to get off to the side. Desi clears it out, and that was a very, very missed opportunity there. I swear that ball just was everything but in the net. Kirby getting the touch here, trying to get something, doesn't get the reset, but he does fake the reset, trying to get the defense off of him. Spoon is just there for it, and man, I tell you what, it's just so back and forth right now. So many missed opportunities on offense and defense to really get things going. A lot of missed touches that could have been, if only. But who's going to pop this up? Maybe looking to make a play here. No, Kirby's going to shut him down. Howard trying to get to it, but can't. Another missed opportunity there, possibly. And this was going to sail back to the center of the field, or back to the wall. Excuse me, not center. Kirby going to try and wait patiently for Howard to make a play here. Spooky's able to get to it, but we're starting to see mad dives and mad dashes to just make 1 or 2 touches. Not really seeing any coordination really going on. And as I say that, Spooky gets the pass, Howard down to it, and this is just back and forth, table tennis style. Nobody's really making an edge. It's deadlock even right now, as we've just passed a minute over a whole nother game of Rocket League. It's just absolutely looking insane right now. Both these teams playing very nervous, knowing that the next goal is going to be the win. But, I mean, this isn't the time to panic. You really got to lock in and just, hold yourself down and just get this thing done.
Yeah, it's going to be whoever lets that hammer slip at this point, and Desi looking to finish it out here with the backboard. He's got it. Why? They're playing Desi is definitely going behind. Crazy play off the side roll, such a board. You know he's got that double before he even put a hand up. It's no good. You think he even needs to ground? No bounce. My goodness, what a highlight reel play. Desi's not here to play.
What a play by Desi. That man, if you look at his name backwards, it's iced, and I swear the ice came off. He was able to just get that clear head and was able to get that touch. And what a play at the end of what was a whole nother game of Rocket League being played, where it was just mistake after mistake after mistake. And to watch that beautiful play at the end, that's got to be a confidence builder for Rochester going into this next match.
Yeah, and look at the shots here. This is unbelievable. 6 come out of here with 16 shots. And you're like, all right, that's a crazy amount of shots, but would you believe it if the Rochester Renegades actually had more? They also had 18 shots. I mean, this is just an unbelievable game. This was a shootout. Both teams even with 11 saves, but the shooting, it was a little bit interesting this game. It felt a little bit off, but I mean, if whichever one of these teams eventually found their accuracy were the one to come out on top, so the 6, so definitely gonna be happy to come out of here with a win. But man, there were so many missed opportunities for both sides. I feel like this game could have gone either way so many times. Of course, it's the highlight reel play that closes out here.
Looks like I'm gonna be kicked out of the lobby here. I'm not sure.
Same here. Looks like
all right, well, thank you, Epic, for the wonderful Rocket League servers. We appreciate that, even in private matches. But we are going to do everything we can to get this fixed and back on the road.
My Rocket League is
but we are going to get back to it, and we are going to get it. But again, Zoms, the end of that game, Desi with the play, I want to highlight that some more, because that's in just a wave after wave after wave of attack, counterattack, block, save, shot, 50, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And for him to have that mindset of, okay, that's it, I've had enough, I'm locking in, I'm going to get that touch off the wall, I'm going to get the dribble, the air dribble, and I'm going to sink this bottom, corner pocket. What a confidence booster that's got to give the team. And I can imagine, what's that?
Lobby's up.
New lobby is up. But yeah, what a confidence build that's going to be for the whole team to rally around Desi like that. They have to have that confidence coming into this next game.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy way to close out the overtime as well. I mean, that's got to be very uplifting for them. And now hopping into this next game here, let's tell them they are good to go. And this is, I don't even know what game it is anymore, to be completely honest. That was the longest overtime I've seen in a minute. But we got to fire back into here. Game 3, and man, we still got so much more Rocket League. That was one of the longest overtimes I've seen in a minute here for CSA, and it is a great pleasure. I mean, we've already had a long night. Why not extend it? I'm not stressing at this point anymore, and this series shaping out exactly how we were expecting it to be. Very close. It's a nail biter for sure. It takes a clip like that one to close it out. So we'll see how this one turns out. And I really thought Spoon was going to be the one to, step above and be the one to close it out, as he was for the rest of that series. I mean, he had 2 fantastic plays that led up to, them getting to at least overtime, but it's actually Desi the one who's been breaking the ice, not only in the end of last game, but the beginning of this one.
What a great play. Just able to have the mindset of being patient with that last touch. Completely just baffling the defense. Had no idea where that ball was going. It could have gone high, it could have gone mid, it could have gone just anywhere. And the precision shown off by Desi here. Spooky almost gets one of his own as he tries to clean it up, but he can't quite. Looking for a drop down to his teammate Spoon, who we haven't talked about, but definitely was looking to be the MVP of the series. Can't quite make the touch, but Spooky's going to pass it back to Desi. Desi playing for his life right now as an open net is going to come through, and Spooky is going to get the touch to call this one second goal of this game. Not sure what happened to the defense there. Rochester just kind of looked non-existent as there was nobody anywhere near, remotely near that shot.
Yeah, able to. I mean, it feels like you said in the last game that Desi might have been the one to break the ice in this series altogether, and they are scoring lots of goals now. It's coming in like a waterfall. It's really just crashing down on Rochester, and they need a big response here to dig themselves out of this hole, and it's going to be really tough for them to bounce back. Looking to maybe continue, though. I mean, they still have lots of chances, and they still have, lots of time in this one in particular. But J-Bay moving a bit too quick is going to be caught off guard from that shot from halfway point, and Desi will lick his lips and reap the rewards of a 3-goal lead. Toronto 6 looking to close this one out early.
And doing it in such great fashion with a Dominus who's not really known for their pod dribbles, but Desi is making that Dominus sing like an opera diva, just being so precision with that Dominus, which is so hard to do given how flat that car is. The shots that he's putting is really difficult, honestly, in a Dominus, but he is absolutely making it work. That is definitely his car. He knows that thing inside and out, and he is absolutely proving it here. Gets a miss off that one, but Spooky's looking to try and clean this up. Looking to Spoon. Spoon gets a 50 in the corner, gets another one looking for his teammates. A double commit there. That's going to leave the ball open. Are we going to have an open net here? We're not. Spoon's able to get back to it. That was very, very close. But it's almost going to turn into a counterattack here, as Spooky almost got the touch to put that ball in. That could have been very, very dangerous for Rochester. They do come out of it relatively unscathed. They are still down 3 goals. Kirby's going to secure one back here. Kirby getting the touch. Gets it over one defender. Gets the second touch over the second defender. Desi's left back by himself. Tries to get it out. Tries to bully it. Unfortunately, Kirby was having nothing to do with it. And that is going to put Rochester back. It's going to put them on the board. But more importantly, only going to put them 2 back in what is almost a need-to-win scenario, given what happened in that last game, to try to snuff out this momentum that we're seeing coming out of St. Louis right now. Or excuse me, Toronto.
Yeah, let's continue on here, and it really is must-win because Toronto now are up 2-0 in the series, and Rochester have no more chances. They are back against the wall. They need to win, and this might be their chance. Spoon gets the save. Still down 2. Rochester trying to find a way through. Big pass comes through, and J-Bay finds the back of the net. Fantastic play comes through here. That is exactly the play they needed. In from the corner, passes out. J-Bay will find the top, wins every time. Spooky did well to cover out a lot of options, but that one a little bit too difficult to keep out. And this Rochester now is an animal in a cage. They're trapped against the wall. They are fighting for dear life. They're doing what they can, but you still have one more goal to make up in 2 minutes.
Well, but they started 2 goals down, so one back is definitely a plus if you're counting, but they still do have a little bit of a mountain to climb. They do have some time to work with, but it's quickly draining down, and Toronto is happy as a peach to see the clock ticking down with no real threats to their net. But it's got to happen sometime sooner or later. But will we see it sooner than later? Or will we see Desi pop off yet again? As we see an open net here, Kirby's going to get to it. It's going to bounce off, but it's going to be a shot to Spooky. Spooky is going to find it. Not the greatest defensive play there by Kirby. He had no boost to work with, but just finding the side of the bar, and that is just unfortunate. You definitely know that he was trying to get it over the corner. Unfortunately, didn't get the touch he was looking for, had no boost to really do anything about it. We're going to see a runaway kickoff goal here. No, it's getting blocked away. Kirby's going to be there, but it's blocked away again. Spoon doing a great job of keeping that ball in his possession and keeping this play alive. Desi looking to try to maybe connect with his teammate, can't quite. Kirby's going to get the redirect, but it's going to go right down center, looking for a shot from Spoon. And I feel like that touch right there by Kirby, he's had a couple of missed touches that, I'm sure he would like to get back, especially since both of them have resulted in goals for Toronto.
The puzzle pieces might be falling apart now, and it might be becoming impossible to solve slowly, and that might be one more. Power's able to get there, and it's still threatening. That maybe should have been another goal, but Rochester are holding on for dear life, looking to make it out of this one unscathed, but you really don't got much more time to work with. You got to start fighting back with everything you're worth. It's just like the same exact hole you dug yourself in the beginning of this game. Now still down 3 goals, and it just is so difficult to even break out of your own half. You're finally seeing some orange in your life, and looking to maybe get to the backboard bump on the defender, and in fact it maybe is a decent chance. It's too high, and the follow-up is finally there, but it's no good. Breakaway chance here for Spoon, but he's looking for a fake. He's got it. Slowing it down now, taking another shot, and Spooky derps it away and finds the back of the net yet again. That has got to be GG's, but they'll at least see what they can do on the kickoff. Maybe some shenanigans here and there, but it is just brutal. J-Bay tried his best in net all alone, but with no boost, no teammates, not even a prayer, that goal will make it just about impossible for the Rochester to win. In fact, oh my goodness, maybe one more, but at least they tried something on the kickoff, but it's just fruitless.
Yeah, and Toronto is just on cruise control, happier than a tornado in a trailer park right now. But they are just cruising down to this victory here. And what is going to be, as soon as this ball hits the ground, that's going to take it. And wow, what a series! What a turnaround! I mean, if going into this, I really thought that Rochester had an opportunity. I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast that we picked Toronto, but honestly, given the way that Rochester started to play, they had opportunities, they had looks, they just didn't capitalize on a lot of plays that they needed to capitalize on. And Toronto was just there at the end. They just were able to lock it in. They were able to lock down the offense of Rochester, and they were able to get it done.
Yeah, it really, for me, came down to that game 2 where the momentum just completely flipped. I mean, I really feel like Rochester, they were winning for the majority of that game. It seemed like they were the ones that were going to, equalize out the score, make it 1-1, but it slipped, it slipped in those later moments. 2 solo plays come through, and then that overtime, we all know how that one ended, but a really, really, really brutal ending for Rochester here. But the Toronto 6, we're going to be happy to come out here with a dub, and we're going to be having, that's not it for Rocket League for tonight. We still got one more series, the best of all, world class, to close us out here for tonight, and we're going to be getting into that very shortly, right after this break.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Man, what a night of Rocket League we have had. We have seen so much great Rocket League, and we are not done yet. We have the final game of the night. We have New York Vanguard versus St. Louis Archers in the World Class Series. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We saved the best for last. This is going to be an incredible game. Pokey, welcome. Thank you for joining me in the broadcast booth. How you doing tonight?
Hello, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I've had a fantastic day today. I'm ready to cast some world-class Rocket League.
All right, absolutely. That sounds great. I am so excited to be here. Let's get right into it. You know, we want to get these guys on the field. So, who you got, Pokey?
All right, so for predictions, I mean, I know St. Louis has Kronovi, they have Percy, but I think I'm gonna go with New York Vanguard. I think we're gonna take it 3-1 here. I know it's a little bit of an upset depending on what way you look at it, but I really like New York Vanguard and how that team looks.
That's a great point. You know, I was looking at the stats. We're going to get these guys on the field. We're going to talk about my side of it as we get these guys going. We're going to get these guys again. All right, we're going to get these guys on the field. Here we go. But, you know, Vanguard, yeah, you're right. They do play really well, but I'm going to turn the tables on you, and I'm going to go Archers. But we're going to get this thing kicked off. We have them kicked off already. Kronovi coming out the gate strong, gets a touch, but it gets blocked out by Slayer. Pigeon looking to try to get the touch here. Can't quite get his, Slayer gets the block. It's going to get popped up by Kronovi. Kronovi looking to get this down to his teammate. Mikasa tried, but he gets kicked off of it. Corner, Pigeon's going to try and take this down himself. He has no boost to work with. Real Art's there. Going to get the great play here past Kronovi. Doesn't get past Mikasa. Slayer's going to pop this up. Real tried to flip into it. Didn't get the touch, but no real danger as of right now. But this is world class, and every single touch is dangerous. As we see Pigeon making the touch right there. What a great play. Gets the beat. Pigeon pops it up right back to himself, and that's going to be a bottom right goal. And wow, we are coming out strong, Pokey.
Yeah, I mean, New York Vanguard's showing up with the first goal of this series here. However, St. Louis, they are looking to bounce back here, but it's going to be caught out in the transition. Mikasa has to get a clear out to the corner here. Claro, light pass. Kronovi on 0 boost, has to play to the corner. Pigeon's going to meet it there. Pigeon, flip reset. 1-2, gets to Kronovi with the goal line save. Or backboard save, sorry. Kronovi, though, now on the counterattack. Can't quite get much there. Mikasa trying to keep it in. Pigeon needs a good clear out here. Awkward flip reset. Who's going to be there? Real Art gets bumped, but still manages to stay on the play. And so far, back and forth. What was that goal? How does that go in? What just happened?
Real Art got the touch, was going for the second touch. Mikasa tried to block it out, just gets bumped out of the play. It was just enough of a bump that actually sent it to the goal. If he had to touch it, I feel like that would have been just slightly off. But a kickoff goal coming in from Kronovi now. That's going to put St. Louis back within 1.
Yeah, in Rocket League, you're never out of it. You know, 3 minutes, 34 seconds till anyone's game. Kronovi gets it right off the kickoff, and it's 2-1 for New York.
Yeah, neither team's really having to work for it as of yet. Real Art gets the touch. He's going to run a boost here, so he gets the reset. Looking for Pigeon, but he blocks his own shot. As Real Art was just sailing down, Mikasa gets a good redirect. Fortunately for him, it's going to work out. Player's there for it. Pigeon's trying to make a counteroffensive here. Kronovi gets the miss. Player trying to take control here. He's going to look to try to get this boost. Mikasa was there. He heard Mikasa coming, so he just tried to get the 50. Claro trying to get down here. Maybe getting past the interference. No, Pigeon's there, and it's going to be an open net. And a demo adds insult to injury. Slayer gets a great demo on Kronovi. and that is going to put Vanguard up 3-1 with 2 minutes and 54 seconds left to play. A lot of Rocket League left to play, but St. Louis needs to get something going coming into this next kickoff.
Yeah, that was really some miscommunication on the defense. All three were overcommitted on the offense. No one was served, leaving an open net for New York Vanguard to score. If St. Louis wants a chance, they have to get rid of those defensive mistakes like that. Just very simple fixes, probably communications need to get a little bit better, and how's he get figured out there? As Claro's gonna get it mid. 2 minutes left down to St. Louis. Needs something here rather soon. Gonna get cleared out mid. Mikasa, awkward on the ball. Gonna clear it out to the side. It's gonna be right for Pigeon Nose. Gonna try to double it, but Kronovi's gonna be there. Mikasa's gonna try to bang it down. Could be as far as Real Art. Clear out. Follow-up shot. Cleared just wide and cleared away. Mikasa, though, still in the attack. A little bit too pushed far up, but let's see if it works. Kronovi has a great chance, but it's saved away.
Pigeon going to carry on the counteroffensive here. Mikasa gets a great diving save. Had to be the one. He was the only one back at the time. Kronovi's going to get this bang down the field, but Real Art there to stop it immediately. They're looking to make the play here. Can't quite make the play. It's going to be an open net. As Slayer slots it bottom left, as Kronovi tried to make the save, did not get there. And we have a 4-1 situation here. St. Louis getting dug into an even deeper hole. Now down 3 goals. This is still early on in the series. This is only game 1 with 1 minute and 41 seconds left to play. But, you got to make that, getting that first win is definitely a lot easier for the rest of the series. Hopefully. But Real Art tried to make the play there. And Pigeon's going to elect to take this slow. He's going to try and get the dribble. Gets the second touch, gets the third touch, tries to pass it down to Real Art, who's there. Real Art gets the kick out to the center. Great cross. Fortunately, Slayer's not able to make the shot. Pigeon going in for the second one. Kronovi tries to get there, but Costa clearly covers it. Gets it down the field, and we have a drag race back to the blue side, looking for something to happen. Pigeon pushing us down the field, looking for a second, gets the reset, looking for a second touch, can't get the touch. And we are just back and forth, just counting down the time for New York to finish this out. And Slayer's going to sneak one in, making this a 5-1 game very early. What does that say about the rest of the series?
I mean, yeah, Vanguard just looks like the better team right now. I mean, St. Louis, on defense, not looking too great. They look shaky, and I mean, I've seen a lot of awkward touches on the ball, some double commits, some awkward rotations coming from St. Louis. Meanwhile, New York, they've just been playing solid Rocket League. I mean, New York just looks just playing solid, not really giving up anything. I mean, the only thing they gave up this game was an awkward kickoff goal. So just really solid Rocket League coming out from them, and so far showing like they're the favorite in this series.
Yeah, one of the themes that me and Zoms were noticing in some of the other tiers is it doesn't always have to be pretty, it just has to work. And right now, Vanguard is showing that, we're not going to play pretty. We've got all these great mechanics, but, right now, it's not the time for that. We're just going to just beat you down with good, solid, foundational rocket. And so far, as we wait for the ball to drop, nothing's really going to stop Vanguard from taking this one. It's finally going to fall. And, like I said, just very basic Rocket League sometimes is the right answer. I mean, we've got, Kronovi, who's an RLCS world champion, as we all know, been a big fan for a long time. But sometimes it just comes down to the basics and the foundational mechanics of Rocket League that are, at the end of the day, gonna be the deciding factor.
Yeah, I mean, just solid Rocket League is what wins games here. I mean, Slayer, can't count him out. RLCS regional champion, won a regional. It seems more recent. Seems a little bit, just more up to date. I mean, anyone can still take this. I think for St. Louis, they just have to get the comms going. I mean, I think they could definitely do it and, come back in this series and look better than they did in this game. They just have to communicate more. They have to, get less awkward. Just do the rotations. Play solid Rocket League. I mean, these are all some of the best players that we have to offer. They know how to play good, decent Rocket League. They just have to show it.
Yeah, absolutely. Going into this next game, yeah, I agree with you. I think, I really think St. Louis just needs to just lock in, get comfortable playing in their own skin. You're playing against a very talented group of Rocket League players, and and arguably some of the best in the world. Maybe not by today's standards, but these guys are still at the top level of Rocket League. And when you have two teams that are at the top tier, it's going to be those simple fundamental things that are going to be so crucial. As we see Art trying to get the dribble, it's going to almost sail through. It took 3 defenders to block it out, including one of the players from Vanguard. But we are going to continue play here as Real Art gets the touch. He's got plenty of boost to work with. He's going to elect to give it to Pigeon. Great communication there for that passing play. It almost worked as it pulled all the defenders off of the net. Hero trying to get the touch here. Pigeon is going to pop this back up, looking to do a second touch himself. Picasso is not going to have anything to do it. He gets the reset, gets a second reset. Didn't quite get the pop off of the reset. The redirect is back towards the net. Pigeon looking to stay there, trying to back pass it. Unfortunately, that's going to put them in a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, but they get to clear out. Now we're on the counterattack here. It's going to save away Mikasa. Now here's a test for St. Louis defense. They looked a little shaky last game. Can they survive the offense from New York here as the Real Art going to pass it mid-Pigeon. A little bit too far forward. Going to go back to Slayer. Still on the attack for New York. Kronovi, though, gets a good clear route. Is that just in? And it is. Kronovi scores first in game 2.
Great play there by Kronovi. Just pops it up. Tries to get it up there. Mikasa was threatening. No defense to be found anywhere on the blue side of the field. But just a runaway pop long shot by Kronovi. And that's going to give St. Louis their first lead of the series, I believe.
Yeah.
But, they have the ability to pull this back. And like you said, those adjustments, maybe coming through. They are starting to look a little bit better. They do have a little bit more ball possession. They're starting to make smarter plays, being patient with the ball. Hero getting absolutely demolished by Slayer. Gonna work out in their favor here. Pigeon gets to the ball, gonna try and do something with it, but Claro is there. Gonna waterfall down, but it gets beat out. The 50 coming through for Vanguard. Real Art popping this up, looking to control the ball here. Gets a fake off of Claro. Can't get it past Kronovi here, who's looking to get the reset. Maybe looking to get it, but a teammate pushes him. Mikasa tried to push Kronovi and the ball into the net. Unfortunately, not going to work out for them, but it's not really going to hinder them at all right now to this moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's just both teams now starting to get a little awkward. I mean, St. Louis has some double commits. New York has been having some double commits. Just all roughs a little shaky, a little rough, but I mean, that's just exactly how Rocket League is sometimes. As Slayer's going to drop it down, it's going to be Kronovi. Leaves it for Mikasa, who's going to bang clear down to the other end. Slayer's going to catch, try to go into the corner as Mikasa going to pop it up, try to get a pass. I mean, St. Louis has to be careful not to overcommit here. They won't. And it's going to be down over as it gets cleared away to the corner. Pigeon's going to be on the sidewall, going to drop down to the corner. Pigeon going to try to get pass out mid. Who's there? It's Real Art. It's going to try to get an awkward double, but it's going to get cleared away from the Mikasa as ball drops down to Claro. It's going to pass up to Kronovi. Let's see what they can do. It's going to be flip reset. Ball drops down. Can't quite get it. Mikasa now trying to get something. Going to pop back up to Kronovi. Now it's a test for New York's defense. Can they hold it here? Claro with a good shot opportunity. Saved away. Mikasa, another shot. Gets denied again. on the backboard. Pigeon now trying to clear it away. Kronovi still trying to keep the offensive pressure going, but Real Art will steal it away.
And we're now going to take this off the sidewalk. It's one beat. Gives it down to Kronovi, but he does take over. It doesn't matter who shot that. It was an open net. Nobody back on the defensive side. They just got caught off rotation. Pigeon tried to rotate back, but in the back while they were rotating, they actually ran into each other and really just kind of just upended any type of momentum to get back. So a little bit of a lot of mistakes coming in now from both sides of the field. Not sure what happened there. Mikasa just kind of stopped, looking maybe to get a 50 that would go his way. Mikasa's going to get paid. Unfortunately, he's going to pay for his mistake as Slayer is able to put one down. Pigeon gets a great pass out to Slayer here. Slayer gets just a normal shot. Mikasa, it looked like he got bumped from Pigeon though. So maybe not something that was his fault. That is going to put Archers up. With 27 seconds left to play, Slayer looking to equalize it, and he's going to find it. Finds the back of the net, and that is going to tie this back up in what has been a back-and-forth fight between two incredibly talented teams.
I mean, look at how fast Rocket League can change. You have to be on your game for the full 5 minutes of gameplay. I mean, a 2-0 goal lead can diminish from you in a matter of, what was that, like 2 to 5 seconds? Just, you have to always play game. Now it's anyone's game. I mean, New York trying to go up match point. That'd be huge. They could get something here. 7 seconds left. Drop down to Pigeon, who gets it far down. Incredible.
Real Art starts this off, just giving his teammates time to get up. Pigeon read it absolutely perfect. Try to get that top left, but it ends up dropping down. Either way, it's going to find the inside of the net, not necessarily all the way to the back, but it's going to end up working out for him. And this is actually going to put Vanguard up again. Great gameplay by both sides, but Vanguard showing some resilience here, showing some really good talent. And man, I tell you what, I feel like this match was a well-deserved win for Vanguard. They definitely deserve that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, you have the ice in their veins, and that's what they had. They had that dog in them. You know, 30 seconds down 2, wins it in regulation, 3-2. Just an insane comeback in the last 30 seconds of the game to prove that, you know, it's still anyone's game, anything can happen, and they really want to try to get the sweep here.
Yeah, and, you know, it's entirely possible. I just feel like, you know, I watched St. Louis play in the major, and, you know, they did okay. You know, they had life in them, but I'm not seeing that level that we saw in the major translating back into the regular season. Not sure if maybe it's just, you know, life getting in the way. Oh, we have a black screen. Maybe looks like somebody's going to get kicked. We have had a lot of issues with Epic tonight. I believe this will be the second time we've had an Epic crash, what I like to call them. So we're going to try and get these guys back on the field. It doesn't look like they've crashed. It looks like we did recover it. Great save there, Epic. But we're going to get this thing started. And, you know, Loki, while we have a few more seconds here, what is the key to victory here for St. Louis?
I mean, the key to victory, I mean, they had possession of the game for 4.5 minutes last game, but then blew it in the last 30 seconds. I mean, they just have to stay consistent throughout the entire game. I mean, they definitely have it in them. I saw it last game, but, you know, you just can't choke away 2-0 leads within that short amount of time. I mean, so that's what St. Louis has to do. They just have to play their game, and they have to do it the entire time.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. And, you know, but, you know, making those adjustments on the fly is, you know, obviously easier said than done. Oh, and a miss there. And, oh, all of the defenders were there There was no pressure whatsoever. It was a great play. Unfortunately, Pigeons look at the demo on Mikasa. That's going to open up some play here. It's a great save right in front of his team. Slayer looking to finish this himself. Mikasa gets a great touch. That was so close. But yet so far, Kronobi trying to control this. Real Art not having anything to do with it, trying to put it back center. Slayer trying to get a touch, but he gets whiffed. Mikasa's going to try this. Pigeons the last back for just a few seconds. Real Art finally gets there, but it's not really going to have any effect as Pigeon is already on the counteroffensive by himself. And wow, I tell you what, this is, I'll tell you right now, Vanguard, this is their series to lose right now. They have been looking really good. That miss right there by Slayer, you know, those tiny little mistakes could spell disaster for what has been a perfect season, perfect series for Vanguard so far.
Yeah, I mean, Vanguard, you know, coming back from the 0-2 deficit with not a lot of time left, that was very impressive. It showed that they had the ice in their veins. Now they just have to keep it in them for one more game to take this series here as Pigeon's gonna go past mid, gonna go to Slayer, back to Pigeon! What a passing play!
What an absolute play that was. Pigeon kicks it out off of a 50. Pigeon already up before it even got to Slayer. Slayer knew where Pigeon was going to be, and that type of communication is what we need to see out of St. Louis to keep themselves alive in this series. But they have yet to really pull any real solid gameplay or any solid team plays together. But that could change on a dime. But Vanguard, not making it easy for them. They are just being so disruptive. I feel like Real Art is going to try and get a touch here. It doesn't matter if Pigeon's going to clear it up. Mikasa kind of got stuck. He really didn't know where to go. I mean, 9 times out of 10, that ball is going to just drop straight in. Mikasa was trying to go for the squishy, but got caught in the back of the net. Just had no reaction time to get back to that ball before it gets scored on.
Yeah,
Real Art's going to try and take this. Gonna get a beat, gonna get a second beat, but Mikasa is there.
Yeah, I mean, St. Louis, you know, down 0-2. I mean, we saw New York come back from this deficit with a lot less time left last game. However, New York has just been looking more dominant. They've just been playing overall more solid Rocket League, going for team plays, not really getting awkward on the defensive end, just playing very solid, just rotational Rocket League, you know, not trying to do anything too flashy. I mean, obviously, they had that play where the passing play on the transition, which, you know, just very clean, good play from them for that goal there as Slayer trying to make it 3. Kronovi, though, denies it off the ceiling. Gonna be over to Art, who's gonna try to flick it up. Good pop-up, gonna be as far as Mikasa. I mean, St. Louis, they need something, and they need something very soon, or else New York's gonna sweep the series.
Well, they've been trying. It's not from a lack of trying. He's got, you know, St. Louis has been really trying to kind of make something happen. You saw the breath of life in the passing play that they had. Love to see more of that. Vanguard had that passing play. Love to see St. Louis kind of fire that back. These guys have the ability to do that. I just have not seen the coordinated effort that you would expect from this level of gameplay. But, you know, oh, and Real sneaks one in. That is, for lack of a better term, gonna kind of almost seal the coffin shut here, as you know, Vanguard's gonna take that 3-0 lead very late in the series. Now, that's not to say that, you know, we have seen some crazy stuff happen. They have just under a minute to make something happen, but based off of everything that we've seen so far in this series, I just don't think that St. Louis is going to have the beams to get this to make this happen. And as I say that, Pigeon gets another play here, reads it off the backboard, gets the redirect out to his teammate. Art, sensing the defense, pushes it back to Pigeon, who is just completely wide open. And that is going to be a 4-0 lead with 40 seconds left to play, 20 seconds after the last goal, we're seeing another one, and another one 5 seconds after the other one. And oh my, this is pretty much a done deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, based on what I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure St. Louis is playing with a couple subs, unless they change for names in-game, I'm pretty sure. However, you know, they still showed a strong fight over New York. Very clean Rocket League, very solid. I mean, they definitely start to look at a good team. I mean, you know, in the major, they didn't get any points. However, they're trying to make up for it here. I mean, still plenty of season left to play. I mean, you know, as Slayer's going to try to put one on. Pretty much a done deal. Can St. Louis get a consolation goal? No, that's just wide, and I think that sums up St. Louis's night.
Unfortunately, you're pretty much, 100% accurate. It's just been that way all night long. Archers trying to do their best to put something together just cannot do it, and they just did not look organized. They did not look prepared to come in and play this Vanguard team that just put on a great show tonight. They played really well. They played foundational Rocket League. None of that fancy, air dribble, double reset, musty. There was that opportunity that I did see. I don't know if you saw the breezy shot that Real tried to put on. Didn't go anywhere, but when you're so consistent with the basics and then you throw in a mechanical play, that's when you start seeing those crazy goals and stuff like that. But none of that was really necessary tonight. Vanguard just put on a basic foundational show, and at the end of the day, they walked away with it.
Yeah, I mean, just solid foundational Rocket League. I mean, I'm pretty sure St. Louis was playing with subs once again, probably sub-ups. I mean, definitely, if that is the case, they still definitely hung in there. I mean, they almost took game 2, so huge props to them. I mean, they still played amazing, but New York comes away with a dub tonight.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna be the end of our broadcast. It has been an absolute pleasure. Poke, thank you for coming in and being a broadcaster with us. Any final thoughts?
Not just a great game of Rocket League, and I'm excited for next week for even more chaos.
Well, for CSA, this has been Raptor8154. In with me is Poke, and let's not forget our wonderful production staff, Nuki, always being the GOAT. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. It has been wonderful. You guys have an absolute great night.
Right.